starts later this evening. It promises to be a great game, but first, I'd like to direct your attention to the visitors bench. Hailing all the way from Alliston, Ontario, it is the Misfit Militia! Leading off, number 007, it's Tushy Galore! And she's going to be followed by the captain, number 1205, it's Rennie Rumble. And following up is going to be number 138, it's Devachka. And behind her, we're going to have number 1886, it's Smoka-Cola. And sporting the number 2, it's Red Hot. And she's going to be followed by number 221B, it's Nancy Noir. And wearing the number 26, it's Zombabe. And she's going to be followed by number 311, it's Turbo Tiff. And sporting the number 413, it's Terry Bong. And popular number 420, it's Mad Megs. And she's going to be followed by number 604, it's Destroy Her. And last but not least, it's number 835, it's Leia Beaton. And on the bench for the Militia tonight, it's Randy Rollin. Let's hear it for your Misfit Militia! And now, your home team in purple, it's the Bay Street Bruisers! Leading off at number 1, it's Titmouse. Co-captain number 1000, it's Canadian Psycho. Wearing the number 101, it's Misery May. And wearing the number 1017, it's Bigly Smalls. Wearing number 204, it's Scarcasm. And she'll be followed by number 25, it's Lexicon. Sporting the number 3E8, it's Speedin' Hawking. And she's going to be followed by number 34A, it's Robert Blind. And wearing the number 37, it's Junkie Jenny. Followed by number 4, it's Tyrannosaurus Rex. And she's going to be followed by number 5, 6, 7, 8, it's Belfast. And we've got number 76, it's Getcha Kicks. And with the number C3PO, it's Rainbow. And last, number Z682, the co-captain, it's Dawson. Your alternates tonight are number 422, Beaver Mansbridge, and number 8, Candy Bar. On the bench tonight for the Bruisers is Flyin' Brian Kilman and the Derby Nerd. Let's hear it one more time for the Bay Street Bruisers! And before we begin, if I could ask you all to please stand and remove your hats for the singing of the national anthems as performed by Chronic.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed as the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly gleaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons' command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, a true north, strong and free, from far and wide. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
And welcome back to the bunker at Downsview Park, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We have the final debut, final derby bout of the season, doubleheader. First game is going to be Bay Street Bruisers, the B team for Toronto Roller Derby, facing off against Misfit Militia from Alliston, Ontario. Misfit Militia, only a travel team. They don't have any other teams. They just are a strong, powerful team out of Alliston.
Yep, they're just working the circuit right now. Bay Street Bruisers are primarily made up of home team skaters from Toronto Roller Derby's league. They do travel as a B team, whereas CN Power is the league's A team, and they are primarily just for travel, similar to Misfit Militia. Speaking of CN Power, that was Chronic from CN Power who sang both anthems this evening, and the game is on.
Game is on. Smoke-A-Cola taking the star for the Misfit Militia. Misfit Militia in the white and camo, but on the inside, getting through quickly for the Bay Street Bruisers. That's number C3PO, Rainbow Fight. She is your lead jammer of note in the first jam of the game. These teams very closely ranked on the flat track rankings for Canada. Smoke-A-Cola escaping from the pack. Rainbow Fight has made her way around the track, skips her way through on the inside, calls off the jam and picks up 4 quick points, Monochrome.
That she does. That is what Rainbow Fight is good for. She will just take them and leave them.
Yeah, Rainbow Fight, an up-and-coming player in the Toronto Roller Derby, transferred over to Toronto Roller Derby this year, has really made her mark with the Bruisers, looking perhaps to step up to CN Power next year. I believe she was an alternate CN Power skater.
Yes, she was in the tournament play. And here we are on the line again. Starting out, that's Lexicon in blue for the Bay Street Bruisers, but just ahead of her is number 120 from the Misfit Militia. Sorry, that's 1205, that's Rennie Rumble. But Lexicon does take lead jammer status.
And Mad Meg still stuck in the pack, getting knocked around by Bigley Smalls. Bigley Smalls picking up a penalty on the play. She will go serve a minute in the penalty box. Mad Meg's out of the pack, trying to track down Lexicon. Lexicon in amongst the pack, puts the hands on the hips, calls off the jam. Jam ref indicates 2 more points for the Bay Street Bruisers. That will move them to 6-0 early on in this bout.
Yep, and it looks like it's going to be this pace the whole game. They're wasting no time getting to that. And we are cutting to some more action here on the track. That is that hit out, and Lexicon calls it off.
And jam number 3 getting ready to get underway. Lining up is Titmouse for the Bruisers, and number 26 Zombie for the Misfit Militia. Bruisers starting off this game quickly and powerfully, as they have done all season long, getting lead jammer the first 2 jams. Titmouse stuck at the back behind a wall of white. The Bruiser
Zombabe is also stuck at the front behind a wall of blue.
And Titmouse, finding an outside line, comes inside, gets through the pack first, but Zombabe had picked up lead jammer already in the pack, so Titmouse able to get through the pack after that. It's going to have to, she will force Zombabe to call it off. Zombabe does not call it off. Titmouse through on the outside, looking to pick up points for the Bruisers. Now Zombabe has also made her way around the track in amongst the pack, looking for points. Titmouse having to recycle herself to the back after she was knocked to the inside. Dawson trying to get a piece of Zombabe. Yep. She's through the front of the pack. 4 points and 4 points. It's a wash.
Yeah, it was a good play. I think she was really trusting her pack there and thought that she could at least scoop up her 4 points and get some points on the board for Misfit Militia. But it looks like Titmouse did acquire just as many points. So while it was a wash, I think it was a really smart play to get some points up there for White.
Absolutely. 10-4 early on in this game for Toronto. The matchup we saw in the first jam is the matchup we'll see once again here. Rainbow Fight taking the star against Smoke-A-Cola. Smoke-A-Cola, a newer skater to the roller derby community, but very impressive in her debuts, and she is quickly through the front of the pack and picking up lead jammer for the second jam in a row, Chrome.
Yeah, that was some fancy footwork by Rainbow Fight, but she didn't quite make it through that pack ahead. And I think we're going to see a very similar jammer rotation here, those 3 against, and she does scoop up that 1 point just before Rainbow hits the pack. So they'll take it. That makes it 10 for the Bay Street Bruisers, 5 for the Misfit Militia, and only 4 minutes gone in this game.
Yeah, quick little hit it and quit it, picking up the point of Speed and Hawking, who was being held at the back.
And here's a replay here for the Rogers viewers, and that is Zombabe getting through that pack and that footwork by Rainbow Fight.
Looks like Mad Meg's taking the star once again for the Misfit Militia. And hiding down, that's number 25, Lexicon, in her first full year in the big leagues. She was with the Divas last year. Impressive with the Bruisers, but again, lead jammer going to the Misfit Militia. Misfit Militia showing why they are the 6th ranked team in Canada at the moment, and getting lead jammer 3 in a row, Chrome.
Yep, that was Rennie Rumble going to the penalty box for the Misfit Militia. So,
and we've got a track cut to Lexicon coming in front of a blocker, improving her position. She has to spend a minute in the box, and it will now be a power jam for the Misfit Militia. Unfortunately, she
also cut the track, so it looks like we're going to have a little musical chairs here. Lexicon released from the penalty box so that she can start scooping up some points.
So a big opportunity wasted on the part of the Misfit Militia. Lexicon out of the box. looking to get her way through the pack, through the front. Again, she will not be lead jammer. Neither will be Mad Megs. We're going to go with a full 2 minutes. Those can be exhausting jams. Mad Megs has picked up 5 points for the Misfit Militia.
Yep, she was sprung from the box because when you already have a jammer in the penalty box, that opposing jammer, when they go in, they're only serving the amount of time that the other jammer was playing. So we do have both jammers back in play quite quickly. I guess if you are going to do a track cut, make sure that the other jammer does it first. So you have minimum. Oh, and she's trying to call it off, but it looks like, yep, the refs don't fall for it. This is still a 2-minute jam.
That's actually good for her. If they had called off the jam, she would have gotten a penalty for it.
Yep.
She did pick up 4 points, though. Lexicon is back in the pack, being knocked out of bounds by Terry Bomb. She's going to have to reset. Mad Megs picks her way through the pack, picks up 5 points this time, but she gets Lexicon's point as well. Time runs out on the jam. We're going to wait for the scoring update to see where we're at. We get a timeout called, and I'm seeing on the scoreboard 19-14 at the moment, Chrome.
Yep. Oh, that was a good pickup by the Misfit Militia. And I believe, the Bruisers are just checking in and making sure that all the points did make it on.
So even though it was not a full-on power jam, the Militia are able to take full advantage of that 2-minute jam, put enough points on the board to take the lead for the first time in this game, 19-14 for the ladies from Alliston. Again, they are wearing the white and the camouflage, and the Bruisers in their lovely navy and gold with the ties on front.
They mean business, that's for sure.
Bay Street Bruisers, pick up a couple extra points.
Oh, they did. Okay, so that's 17 for the Bruisers, 19 for the Misfit Militia. So we are back on the track for gameplay. In position here is Rainbow Fight, I believe, for the Bruisers.
And Davochka taking the star for the first time this game for the Misfit Militia. We will see who gets the advantage. Rainbow Fight skipping her way to the outside, having to come back to the inside as she finds herself at the back of the pack, looking for her way through. Big hit by Ready Rumble, knocks her to the inside, forces a track cut, and that's going to be a power jam for the Misfit Militia.
Now, it is worth noting that Rennie Rumble also plays for CN Power with Toronto, so she is doing double duty tonight. She is on both rosters. She's also been chosen as a member for Team Ontario, so she is definitely a player to watch out for on the track. Looks like Misfit Militia is actually in the process of a star pass here. She's passing that helmet panty onto her pivot.
However, it looks like Ready Rumble, who was the pivot of note, lost both jammer panties as she, or both the jammer panty and the pivot panty as she was trying to put them on. She resets, and we're going to see, whoa, big hit as she comes through turn 4.
And it looks like we do have there was a penalty on one of the Bruisers there.
Yeah, that was Bigley, I believe.
Yep.
Misery may have done a great job of holding up Ready Rumble. It's one of the things the Bruisers are well known for. They have strong, stalwart defense at the front of the pack. Very good one-on-one blocking as well. Trained well with the CN Power, the A team, and they have improved their game so much. Ready Rumble through the pack one more time. Rainbow Fight is out of the box now.
Yes, she is, and she just passed Ready Rumble. Neither one can actually call this off because there were penalties served and there was a star pass, so we're just skating for points here.
We've got about 10 seconds left in this jam. Rainbow Fight finds her way through the front of the pack, picks up 4 points herself. Rennie Rumble coming up against a 2-wall of vertical truck and trailer blockers from the Bruisers. Time runs out. Did they save their points? 3 points given up on that Chrome. And what's the score now?
Well, I think we've got some adding to do here, but right now the scoreboard says that the Misfit Militia has 27 points against Bay Street Bruisers 21. So still a very close match, but Misfit Militia holding on to that lead here.
Absolutely, and you know, power jams can be devastating when you don't have your jammer on the track. Lots of points can get put up against you. Bruisers doing a really good job of limiting the damage on that last jam. Titmouse taking the star for the Bruisers, trying to find her way through. She is up to the front of the pack. Smoke-a-Cola
stuck behind a wall of Bruisers there, still towards the back there. I think that's...
And Smoke-a-Cola.
We've got a weird line of sight here, but and that is Titmouse taking that lead jammer status.
Yeah, Smoke-a-Cola thought she had an inside line, but it just got tapped out of bounds. She had to reset.
Yep, she's stuck behind Sarcasm, and she does finally make it out of the pack there.
The Titmouse circling the track, back in the pack, looking to pick up the points. Comes back in front of the blocker that knocked her out of bounds. That's going to send her to the penalty box one more time. And once again, Chrome, we have a power jam.
Yes, we do. I believe that was Tushy Galore from Misfit Militia that hit her out. They are also teammates on the Smoke City Betties. So Alliston is borrowing a few skaters from nearby leagues, which is great for them, and it's really helping the sport of roller derby to have, all this sisterhood happening on. But, when Toronto wants to win this game, it kind of hurts for them to be playing against their own home team players sometimes.
More whistles out of play indicated against Nancy Noir for the Misfit Militia. She will sit for a minute as well. The power jam continues as Smoke-A-Cola tries to fight her way through the blockers in blue. Coming up on the back of the pack, knocked to the outside. That's number 204, Sarcasm, doing a fantastic job once again. But Smoke-A-Cola manages to weasel her way through on the apex of 1 and 2. 5 more points for the Misfit Militia.
That's Smoke-A-Cola entering the pack now, and she's doing so tentatively. She knows she's going to get hammered on this one. Titmouse has been released from the penalty box, and she's looking to score points here. Hoping to sneak up into this really wide pack. She does pass Leia Beaton, and she does pick up a few points there. She did get all 4, but as did Smoke-A-Cola. So Misfit Militia pulling out ahead. They're at 37. And here's playback from Titmouse coming out of the penalty box, hitting this wall on the inside and coming back around. Oh, and that's where she did that cut.
So a strong early showing by the Misfit Militia, but stalwart defense by the Bay Street Bruisers. The score currently 42 for the ladies from Alliston, 25 for the ladies from Toronto. We've got another jam underway. It's Lexicon going up against Mad Megs. Lexicon looking for an outside line, gets slowed up a touch, and that allows Mad Megs to get through the pack and pick up lead jammer for the Misfit Militia. Lexicon getting cycled to the back of the pack once again, having to reset, and here comes Mad Megs. She's got 1 to beat. Looks like Misery May unable to contain her.
Yep, and it's Rennie Rumble that's given Lexicon all that trouble, and she does cut the track once again, so the Bay Street Bruisers sit in the penalty box while Mad Meg picks up a lot of points here.
And they've got to let her go. Zone of engagement is only 20 feet in front of the pack. You keep on blocking after that, you go to the penalty box. 5 points going to board for Mad Megs and the Misfit Militia. She's coming around for more of the passive defense. Passive offense is in effect. No passive defense out there for the Bruisers as Misery May and Robert Blind try to hold back Mad Megs. Unsuccessful that time. Slowed her up a touch, but she still made her way through for 5 more points, Chrome.
Bruisers doing a really good job of staying tight to that pack, but it's really tough when you don't have any, especially when you've got 2 or 3 players and your opponent has 4. Really, the Misfit Militia is doing a great job of just being patient and letting the Bruisers come up ahead. Looks like they've trapped Speed and Hawken to try to bring this pack back as far as possible.
Mad Megs continuing to stretch the lead in this game, putting another 5 points on the board. She's coming around for perhaps a final scoring pass as time is ticking down in this jam. She's going to call it off. Did she get it before the jammer was released? It does not look like it. Looks like both jammers will be on the track, Rome.
Yes, it does. And here's a replay here of Lexicon coming around this pack and getting a smackdown by Turbo Tiff. And there's that cut there. She re-entered the pack from the ground.
Those are tough hits to avoid taking those track cut penalties.
Absolutely, yeah.
But again, that's the timing and the experience of skaters like Rennie Rumble out there. She's had a ton of experience skating with both the Misfit Militia and, as you said, CN Power. CN Power having a great season, finishing 6th out in Salem, Oregon just a couple weeks ago in the Division I tournament in the WFPDA, and bringing that knowledge and skill to the Misfit Militia tonight.
Yes. And also, I mean, it is worth noting that in their own right, the Misfit Militia are ranked 6th in Canada, whereas the Bay Street Bruisers, despite being a B team, they are still holding tight at 8th place. So they're both very evenly matched, but Misfit Militia is definitely climbing the ranks, and it's really up to the Bruisers to take that experience and use it as well, because they do have more CN Power players to draw that experience from.
Score currently 70 for the Misfit Militia, 25 for the Bay Street Bruisers. And as you were saying, the Bruisers have played very well since their reformation last year. They've only lost 2 games, one in 2012, one in 2013. They lost to Ohio's B team in 2012. They beat Ohio's B team this year, and they lost to the Rideau Valley Slaughter Daughters, who are the top-ranked home team in Canada. And that was a close game.
It was very close. So I think that, it's definitely a meeting of 2 very similarly skilled teams, and that's where those ranking shifts end up happening. You have to play that team that, you want to beat, and both of these teams really want to win this bout to show who can come up on top.
Now, interestingly, we're going to get Belfast taking the line for the
Bay Street Bruisers.
She does skate for the Misfit, or has skated for the Misfit Militia in the past.
Yes.
So this team may know her fairly well, but she is a strong and rugged jammer who has impressed us. Last year was her rookie season. She's been impressive all year long in her sophomore season. We will see how she does as she faces off. Looking for a little momentum shift on the part of the Bruisers. Zombabe on the line for Misfit Militia. She's wiggling back and forth.
Yeah. I think the Misfit Militia know Belfast's number. They know what she's going to do, and that's, sometimes an advantage and sometimes a disadvantage. And it looks like right now it is a disadvantage. Belfast typically a key jammer for the Death Rack Dolls on Toronto's home team. She did get a cut major as well, so she is in the penalty box, which gives number 26, Zombabe, plenty of time to pick up points once again.
And this has been the story of the first half so far, is the multiple power jams that the Misfit Militia have been on. Score currently 75-25. A lot of those points have been scored without the Bruisers jammer on the track. Very key and pivotal for the Bruisers to get that back under control. Meanwhile, the Militia's got to be pretty happy with the way things are rolling, as Zombabe was through the pack again. Another 5 points go up the board. And she's up against the back of the pack, which is Getcha Kicks, the pivot for the Bruisers. She's past her. Getcha Kicks being held back by the wall of white, trying to push through the front. She only has Dawson left to beat as she comes around turn 3. She's through the front of the pack. 5 more points grown.
This is it's funny how the strategies in Derby change so quickly, and this seems, I want to say it's almost old school Derby, but it's only about a year old. And here's Belfast in the playback, getting stuck in the stuck in this pack with the Misfit Militia. They've got her number and she's not getting through. She's pushed down by Rennie.
So hard-hitting Misfit Militia blockers bedeviling the jammers from the Bruisers. They called off the jam just in time to get a power start. Number 1886, that's Smoke-A-Cola, will take the star. She is the only jammer on the track. Now Belfast has been released from the penalty box. No lead jammer has been called yet, so Belfast still has an opportunity to get through the pack, which she does so right there. Lead jammer for the Bruiser.
Yeah, I was saying before that the Misfit Militia seem to be spreading this pack out, which is sort of an old-ish strategy in terms of like Derby years. But that was exactly what Belfast needed in this particular instance to get through.
Hard hits going on in the pack. Belfast going right at Rennie Rumble. Rennie Rumble knocking her down to the inside. Misery May comes back, knocked Rennie down.
Yep.
Belfast picked up all 5 points for the Bruisers, though. Bruisers finally back on the board. They're up to 30 to the 85 the Militia has.
And there was a hit there. Oh, we're going to do a playback here of nice strong hit by Belfast. She does get knocked down by Rennie Rumble, but Misery May counters that hit so that she doesn't have to go back, and she slides right through that pack, calls it off.
We're going to get Lexicon, number 25 for the Bruisers, going up against number 420, Mad Megs. Chaos in the pack as the churn continues. Mad Megs looking for an outside line, gets picked off by Junkie Jenny. She has to reset a bit. That's going to allow Lexicon to pick up lead jammer for the Bruisers. Twice in a row, the Bruisers have picked up lead jammer, looking to pull this game back to within reach. The Bruisers move their blockers up to the front of the pack, allowing the Militia to hang out at the back. Lexicon easier to pick up the points back there, calls off the jam. No points for the Militia, 2 points for the Bruisers.
And you just chip away. That's all it takes sometimes, to just chip away.
I mean, there's 13 minutes remaining in the first half. There's a whole 30 minutes remaining in the second half. Yes, the Bruisers are down by 53 points at the moment, but Roller Derby is a game of momentum shifts. We have seen all the momentum in the favor of the Misfit Militia so far in this bout, that things can change on a dime. A penalty or two, or a bunch of lead jammers in a row, and we could see a totally different game. Rainbow fight up against Rennie Rumble at the front of the pack. Rennie back and forth. Rainbow looking for a gap through that wall of white camouflage. Finds it. She's lead jammer once again for the Bruisers. Bruisers looking to continue their push. On the outside comes Zombabe as well, so Rainbow will have to be careful that she calls it off in time, not give up any points to the Misfit Militia.
She does exactly what she needs to do. Scoots on that outside, picks up her four. That last play there was very classic Bruisers, and I'm glad to see that happening again. They just let Rainbow do her stuff at the front and contained that jammer, and that's exactly what, when you have a strong jammer who is also a strong blocker, if you can give her that opportunity to just fight her way through, that's exactly what you need to pick up those points.
Right, sometimes your job is to just stop the opposing jammer just long enough so that you can get your jammer out. That worked out very well for them on that one. 36-85, Bruisers still trailing. We've got Smoke-A-Cola trying to get her way through the pack. Quickly on turn 2, she finds the gap. Lead jammer going to the Misfit Militia. She looks behind her to see what's going on with Titmouse. Titmouse has escaped from the pack as well. The Bruisers trying to get their points up to the front of the pack, but the Misfit Militia are holding them back. It's a Junkie Jenny with a hit to the outside, forcing Smoke-A-Cola to call it off with only 2 points.
Yep.
So 87 for the Misfit Militia, 36 for the Bay Street Bruisers. 11 minutes remaining in the first half of this bout, Chrome.
I'm speechless. It's been moving quite quick, and it's fun to see, and it looks like we've got a new jammer for the Misfit Militia lining up, I believe. Oh, maybe I'm mistaken. I thought that was Leia Beaton, but...
No, that's it. She looks very similar to Leia.
Yes, she
does. But as Mad Megs once again, Mad Megs up against Robert Blind at the front of the pack. It looks like Mad Megs is going to pick up a forearm penalty as she knocked Robert Blind to the ground. She will go to the penalty box for 1 minute, and now this is a power jam for number 5, 6, 7, 8. That's Belfast for the Bay Street Bruisers, who has made her way through the pack on her initial pass. Now she is eligible to score. All the blockers are on the track. The only one in the penalty box is the jammer from the Misfit Militia. No pack is called. Pack has to reform. They have to let Belfast go. Belfast picks up 5 points for the Bay Street Bruisers as they crawl their way back into this bout. Belfast approaching the back of the pack once again. Crashes into Rennie Rumble. Rennie Rumble's, big hit by number 413, Terry Bomb. Knocks Belfast to the ground. Belfast, when she had crashed into that wall, it knocked the pivot cover off of Rennie Rumble's head with the force of the impact. But Terry Bomb with a solid hit of her own.
And she cannot call it. She was not lead jammer despite coming out first. I believe that Mad Megs actually did come out first, but did get that penalty. So there is no lead jam, so we're just killing time here. And so really it's just all the Misfit Militia is doing right now is trying to isolate. Mad Megs is out of the penalty box and did pick up her first pass. So we're just hoping to run out of time here. We've got 23 seconds left, so Mad Megs does have an opportunity to score some more points. Belfast being isolated. Bruisers trying to hold back Mad Megs, but it looks like we've got a long drawback. This is something that Misfit Militia is doing a really great job of this game, is just according out this pack, making it wide and spread out, distracting the Bruisers from making any plays and giving a free pass to their jammer.
We've
got to play back to penalty here. There's number 420 throwing that forearm and tripping up. And there's a big hit here that throws that pivot panty right off.
There goes Terry
And
Bomb.
there's another one by 413 just finishing off Belfast.
So 97 for the Misfit Militia, 45 for the Bay Street Bruisers. Belfast looking absolutely exhausted at the end of that jam. Mad Meg's able to come out of the penalty box, put points on the board for the Militia. C3PO, that's Rainbow Fight trying to get through the pack, but it's going to be Smoke-A-Cola through the pack first for the Misfit Militia. And she is a speedy jammer and hustling her way around the track, looking to score points. Rainbow Fight with a nice juke finds her way out of the pack. The Bruisers set up their defense at the back. Nancy Noir trying to force her way through. Oh, sorry, that was Destroy Her that tried to open up the line. Picked up 4 points for her jammer. Nice assist by the blocker.
And we've got a little replay here of Smoke-A-Cola just throwing a hip in there, making a wall for herself, getting hit by a Sarcasm, but not enough to actually get any momentum lost on that jam.
And we'll get Lexicon going up against Zombabe. Lexicon looking at a 3-wall at the back of the pack. Bruisers setting up at the front of the pack. Lexicon finding a line on the outside. Now she is lead jammer for the Bruisers. Zombabe still stuck at the front of the pack. Lexicon quickly making her way around the track. Zombabe has escaped from the pack as well, so Lexicon is looking to pick up the points. Hits the back of the pack. Pushed to the inside by number 2, that's Red Hot. She's forced to call it off, and no points go on the board for her.
No points. It's the way to do it. And like I said earlier, Misfit Militia is doing a really great job of spreading out that pack, hitting somebody out of bounds, and then just skating backwards with them.
Misfit Militia.
You win either way. You either break up the pack or you force a cut.
Misfit Militia have crested the triple-digit mark, the century. They are at 101. Bruisers at 45. 6.5 minutes remaining in the first half of this game. Titmouse lining up against, once again, number 1886, the speedy Smoke-A-Cola. Leia Beaton putting the hits on Titmouse as she goes to the outside, but cuts back to the inside. Lead jammer with the diminutive skater from the Bruisers. Smoke-A-Cola also out of the pack, so Titmouse is going to have to put on the Jets as Smoke-A-Cola is trying to track her down. The pack tries to reset, figuring out where they want to set up their defense. Titmouse to the outside, calls off the jam, picks up 2 points for the Bruisers.
And just in the nick of time, it looks like Rennie Rumble was back out of the penalty box and looking for her number.
Isolating Rennie Rumble is a good thing on the part of the Bruisers. She has been a force to be reckoned with on the track. That 1 minute sitting in the box allowed the Bruisers to take advantage of her absence. Picked up those 2 points. Rainbow Fight up against Mad Megs. Relatively penalty-free game so far, except for the jammer penalties, it seems, in this bout. Up against the front is Mad Megs, pushing away through and picking up lead jammer, but hot on her heels is Rainbow Fight. She's going to put a hip on her, force her to call it off. And again, we got double fists in the air, no points on the board.
Yep. It's worth noting that also we did mention that Rennie Rumble is on Team Ontario, but C3PO, Rainbow Fight, they're throwing out that hit. She is also on Team Ontario. And 2 of Misfit Militia skaters, Smoke-A-Cola and Mad Megs, who have been rotating jamming tonight, they are alternates on Team Ontario. So it's definitely showing here.
Belfast against Zombie. Belfast quickly through the line. Sarcasm trying to cause some chaos at the front of the pack to open up a hole for Belfast. Belfast getting knocked to the middle of the pack once again by Rennie Rumble. She's resetting, looking to get by. Nice truck and trailer work by the ladies of the Misfit Militia. They hold Belfast back long enough that Zombabe slips through the pack, picks up lead jammer for the Misfit Militia. And now that wall at the back, that hard-hitting wall of Misfit Militia blockers are keeping Belfast at the back of the pack. And we've got a penalty that's going to send Tushy Galore to the penalty box. Frees up some space for Belfast, but not before 4 points have been picked up by Zombabe as she has circled the track and picked all the points up in the pack. Belfast finally out of the pack.
And Rennie Rumble going to the penalty box. She was too far away from that pack. She did make contact with Belfast, so that earns her a minute in the box. And it looks like Misfit Militia does call it off before Belfast can enter the pack and score any points.
Another single point for Mad Megs, and Leia Beaton that picked up a penalty at the end of that jam as well.
There's a replay here for Rogers Television there. That is that Number 26 getting thrown into the ref there and calling it off before any points can be scored for the Bruisers.
And you can see head referee Bonesy Adams indicating the blocking out of play penalty given to Leah Beaton. So that's why she is in the penalty box. Little slim on the pack right now. In fact, Leah Beaton is actually on the track. She will be in the queue to serve a penalty. Too many Misfit Militia in the penalty box. Lots of real estate for Lexicon, the jammer of note for the Bruisers. So she is quickly through the pack, picks up lead jammer for the ladies from Toronto, and now is looking to get through the pack. Oh, hard hit.
Tripped up. I think that's a low block there. And Lexicon calls it off. And we're going to look at that again here. There's Lexicon coming around, getting tripped up in the knee, takes a mighty fall, and cleverly calls it off.
So manages to call it off while she's down on the ground.
Yeah.
Man, tough hit. That's Des Destroyer, who is going to have to sit in the penalty box once Nancy Noir was the person, sorry. So both skaters on the track for the Misfit Militia are in the queue for the penalty box, but Mad Megs on the outside picks up lead jammer for the Misfit Militia. The Rainbow Fight is just getting out of the pack now. Mad Megs is going to be able to kill some time, perhaps stem some of this penalty damage that the Bruisers have been inflicting on the Militia. Kill some time off the clock. Mad Megs through the front of the pack, calls off the jam.
Just barely getting past Dawson. She does pick up 4 points, and Dawson does get sent to the penalty box.
That looked like she picked up a low block on that last little bit as well.
We're going to look at it again. She does throw a hip check. Oh, I think it was a forearm trying to catch her, and yep, it was a nice little foot sweep there. Not nice.
Works
not nice at all.
Works in the Karate Kid, but not legal in roller derby. Misfit Militia at 112, Bay Street Bruisers at 51, jam underway again. Very limited number of blockers on the track. Robert Blind is the only blocker for the Bruisers. 2 on the track for the Misfit Militia. Zombabe able to get through the pack very quickly. Titmouse also out of the pack, trying to chase Zombabe down. 2-on-2 blockers right now on the outside. Zombabe quickly through, calls it off before Titmouse could hit that pack. 4 points on the board for the Militia.
Yeah, looks like Militia is taking this opportunity to just get out there as quick as possible. It is tough when you're playing musical chairs there with the penalty box, but both teams are doing it simultaneously. So I think we'd be looking at a very different game if both teams had all of their players on the track. But right now, Misfit Militia is really controlling those penalties. They're sitting pretty with 116 points above the Bay Street Bruisers 51. We have 23 seconds, I think, left in this game, so this will be the last jam of this half. That's Belfast in the blue at the back of the pack with the star. And it didn't quite see Smoke-A-Cola again. She does have lead jam in this jam.
That's Smoke-A-Cola getting past Getcha Kicks to pick up lead jammer. Quickly behind her was Belfast. We're going to get a race to the back of the pack. Time has expired on the period clock. We will now go by the jammer clock. Smoke-A-Cola with lead jammer has the option to call it off whenever she wants, as long as she doesn't go to the penalty box. Knocked to the outside, comes back in, and is through the pack, picking up 5 points for the Misfit Militia. And speaking of going to the penalty box,
Belfast did go to the penalty box. It looks like she picked up the helmet panty that had fallen off of Misfit Militia. That was an illegal procedure. You are not allowed to touch your opponent's panties, and she does go to the penalty box for that misconduct.
Absolutely true, Monochrome. So
keep it clean. Keep it clean.
Keep it clean. As clean as it can be in roller derby. 5 more points for Smoke-A-Cola as the Misfit Militia continue to roll against the Bruisers. Ready Rumble heading to the penalty box for another minute. Smoke-A-Cola back in the pack, looking to go up against Getcha Kicks.
Canadian Psycho and Bigley Smalls is up there in the blue, forming a nice tight wall. It looks like Leah Beaton's trying to break it up. And it looks like we might be spreading the pack out. They do throw Canadian Psycho, Dawson are both at the back. Getcha Kicks does get a penalty for making contact out of play. Again, Misfit Militia just pulling this pack apart and forcing those penalties on the Bruisers.
So Smoke-A-Cola looking to engage the pack one last time as time ticks down on the jam. The whistle blows. We look to the jammer ref. Looks like she picked up 3 more points.
And we're going to take another look at the flying panty that caused Belfast to get that penalty. And there it goes, right off of Running Rumble's head. This pass around, Belfast does neglect to pick it up, but on her second pass around, she did pick it up and get that penalty.
So
that's what you get for cleaning up the track, ladies.
So a tough first half for the Bay Street Bruisers. The Misfit Militia exerting dominance over them, 134 to 51. The 6th ranked team in Canada from Alliston, Ontario, showing why they are a force to be reckoned with. Bay Street Bruisers needing to go back to the dressing room at a halftime, reset, and figure out what they can do, Monochrome.
Absolutely. And I think we're going to take a break for a moment. You are watching Rogers Television. We will be back with the second half of this exciting game here at the Bunker in downtown Toronto. No.
That's it.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Fair enough. We'll do it again. Sure. Ready for us or no? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just looking to fix the graphics because the score is wrong.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Totally lost my mind. Okay. So we are going to take a break here. We are sitting with Misfit Militia at 135, Bay Street Bruisers at 51 points. We are watching Rogers TV here at the Bunker in Toronto, Ontario, and we will see you for the second half. Great. Great. Thank you.
And we are back at the bunker in Downsview Park, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I'm Captain Bill Alabama.
And I am Monochrome, and it looks like we are starting this jam right away on the pivot line, which is not a common place to start, but it's as good a place as any. And Misfit Militia are coming out ahead. They are on a power jam because Belfast is sitting in the penalty box. The last jam of the half, she did get a misconduct for picking up a penny off of the track and then crashed into the penalty box, so she will be serving 2 minutes just as Misfit Militia picks up lead jam here.
And this extended power jam allows Smoke-A-Cola to quickly get through the pack, pick up lead jammer for the Misfit Militia. Misfit Militia having an excellent first half. Smoke-A-Cola part of that process, trying to fight her way through the front of the pack. One blocker to beat, she's gotta let her go. And 5 points go on the board for Smoke-A-Cola, who had picked up 40 points in the first half of this bout. 5 more to that total will make it 45. And the Misfit Militia continue to roll in this game on the ground.
They did try to call it off a little bit early, so that they did have one jammer starting out, but unfortunately they missed that cue, and Lexicon for the Bay Street Bruisers is lined up with the star. And that's Mad Megs, who is jamming for Misfit Militia.
Mad Megs the lead scorer in this bout with 56 points in the first half. Lexicon with 15 points of her own. We will see who gets the better of the pack on the second jam of the first half. Lexicon finds that inside line lead jammer going to the jammer from the Bay Street Bruisers. Bruisers, of course, in the navy and gold. Mad Megs making her way out of the pack as well. She's from the Misfit Militia wearing the white and camouflage. Lexicon, the nice move to the outside, speeds her way through the front of the pack, past the foremost blocker, Leia Beaton, and picks up all 4 points for the Bay Street Bruisers.
This is definitely the pickup the Bruisers needed to come out, and we are going to a replay here. That is Lexicon slicing through the inside of that pack, deking to the outside and getting around Leia Beaton at the front.
Really nice skate control on the part of Lexicon, able to control that speed, able to shunt it all into a forward motion coming out of that corner and picking up all of those points for the Bruisers. Titmouse taking the star against Zombabe. Titmouse picking up 10 points in the first half. Zombabe with 30 for the Misfit Militia. Zombabe up against the front of the pack. Junkie Jenny with a hard hit to the inside. Zombabe uses that momentum to propel herself through the pack. Lead jammer going to the Misfit Militia.
And Titmouse still stuck in that pack. She is trying to get through past Rennie Rumble. She does not. She's on the ground just as Zombabe enters this pack. Gets around 1, 2, 3 Bruisers.
That's going to allow her to pick up all 5 points as Dawson returns to the track from the penalty box. And looks like we've got a skater, number 413. That's Terry Baum heading to the penalty box for the Misfit Militia. That will perhaps allow Titmouse a little more space to skate. She goes down hard on the corner of 3 and 4, gets back up. Zombabe still stuck up at the front of the pack. Canadian Psycho and Dawson trying to hold her back, unsuccessful after a while. It picks up 5 points, and also picking up on that last pass, Titmouse picks up a track cut. We're going back to what we saw in the first half, Monochrome. Power jams once again for the Misfit Militia.
Yep, Misfit Militia doing a great job of throwing those jammers off the track and forcing those cuts. All they're doing is hitting them out and skating back, forcing them to come back in.
5 more points go up on the board for Zombabe and Misfit Militia as they continue to extend their lead over the teams in Toronto. Bruisers picking up 7 trips to the penalty box for their jammers in the first half. 7 power jam to 2 advantage for the Misfit Militia. That's going to allow them to continue to extend their points, but a track cut on that last hit. Nice work on the part of the Bruisers. And then we're going to get a little jammer do-si-do in the penalty box as Titmouse comes out and has a chance to score. No, time runs out on the jam.
So this is going to start with the Bay Street Bruisers on a power jam, and it looks like Belfast is just going to start on the line this time now that she's out of the box.
So 5 points at the end of that jam, 159 for the Misfit Militia, 55 for the Bay Street Bruisers, a 104-point lead with 25 minutes remaining in this game. A contest between the 6th and the 8th place teams in Canada. And now Bruisers looking to shift this momentum with a power jam of their own. Only 2 opportunities in the first half.
Nice juking around by Belfast. She takes a cut to the outside, cuts into the inside. She's on the track the entire time, and she does get lead jammer, and she is already approaching this pack. Bruisers would do well to break up this wall at the front, and it looks like they succeed.
That little bit of active offense allowing Belfast to try to get her way through the pack. We're seeing a track cut being issued to one of the blockers.
That was Tushy Galore from Misfit Militia. She does go to the penalty box for cutting the track, which gives Bay Street Bruisers a pack advantage here. Oh, but the jammer from Alliston does slice through right straight from the box. The Bruisers didn't see her coming, but Belfast is trying to scoop up those points. She does it, and she calls it.
Belfast and Rennie Rumble getting into it at the front of the pack. Belfast picking up the 4 points for the Bay Street Bruisers. She moves the Bruisers up to 64. Misfit Militia at 159.
We're going to look at that again. Go ahead.
And that's Belfast and Rennie at the front of the pack. Belfast, little Rennie complaining about a little chicken wing going on there, but no call by the people in the stripes, so no harm, no foul. Jam back on the way. Tyrannosaurus Rex taking the star for the first time in this bout for the Bruisers. She's a good backup jammer to have on the track, but she's having trouble at the back with the tough blockers of the Misfit Militia. That's going to allow Smoker Cola to get through the pack, pick up lead jammer. Now Tyrannosaurus Rex has escaped from the pack. She's hustling to try to get back to it as Smoker Cola is picking up points. Smoker Cola turns her hips, calls off the jam, picks up 3 of the blocker points.
And on the replay here, there is Tyrannosaurus stuck behind that wall from Alliston. And it looks like she's just trying to juke a little bit. She does take that outside, slices through the inside, and does make it through that pack.
Yeah, Terry Baum and Des Destroyer are doing a great job out there all game long, knocking jammers down, slowing them up. The Misfit Militia's blocking core has been fantastic. Mad Meg's taking the star for the ladies in white and camo. The Misfit Militia, we've got a forearm penalty, going to be sending somebody to the penalty box. And that forearm is on Mad Meg's, which means we've got ourselves a power jam, second power jam of the half.
Yep, and that is Lexicon taking advantage of that power jam. Looks like Bruisers has the pack advantage for this jam here. There's Mad Mag sitting in the penalty box on your screen.
Lexicon, a skater to watch for in Toronto Roller Derby, showing her skills on the track right now. Skips her way through on 1 foot at the front of the pack. Picks up 5 points for the Bruisers. Pack at a standstill. Lexicon coming around again, looking for another scoring pass.
Looks like Robert Blind trying to make some holes for her. She's got 2 to beat. And Rennie Rumble out of pack. She does have to let her go. And I believe she does get called for that.
See if she heads to the box. No, it looks like Scarcasm was the one who got the whistle. And Lexicon back around looking for another scoring pass. She's put 10 up on this jam already. She's got 1 to beat. That one is Leia beaten. She's managed to stay inbound. Puts the hands on the hips. Picks up 5 more points. 15-point power jam for the Bruisers. They're at 100. They're at 74 to the 162 of the Misfit Militia. 79.
Yeah. It's a tricky thing about those power jams. The points just keep coming. But that is definitely the kind of action that the Bay Street Bruisers need to come back with. We do still have about 80 points between these two teams, so it's going to be really tough to make that ground up, but it's not impossible in Derby when you're looking at how fast these points do go up.
21 minutes remaining in this bout. Titmouse running up against the back of Nancy Noir, but now finding an outside line, looking to come through, but picked off in the corner of 2, and that's going to allow Zombie path on the inside for lead jammer, and a back block on Titmouse will send her to the penalty box.
This is definitely what Misfit Militia needed.
All that momentum the Bruisers had built up from those 2 power jams, slowly dwindling away as Zombie fights up against Scarcasm and gets kicks. Scarcasm unable to contain her in the pack, shakes her head.
Just a little nod. I tried.
Resets with Getcha kicks to put their defense to the test once again as 5 points go on the board for the Misfit Militia, and here's Zombie back in the pack. Zombie looking to find a way through that 2-wall. Tries to split the difference. Knocked to the ground. Waterfall effect with Sarcasm and Getcha kicks, but a little bit of an assist.
That was a good job by Misfit Militia, just sweeping out the Bruisers out of the way, making it really easy for their jammer to pick up points.
5 points more go on the side of the ladies from Alliston. Nice little uniform whip on Tushy Galore from Zombabe.
Another 5 and 15 on that jam. We're going to take another look at that deke here. She comes around, tries to push her way through. And you've got those both blockers just throwing their hips into her, but nice sweep by the Misfit Militia, getting those blue Bruisers out of the way.
Yeah, sometimes those moves work where you can absorb the force from both sides and split up the middle, but the force was just too much for her, and she was knocked to the ground. But nice assist on the part of Tushy Galore to pop her free. We're going to get a power start for the Misfit Militia as Smoke-A-Cola takes the star. Only jammer on the track. Should be a short power jam for Misfit Militia, and lead jammer quickly achieved by Smoke-A-Cola. Titmouse now out of the penalty box, trying to keep ahead of Smoke-A-Cola. Crashes into the back of the pack. Bodies go flying. Smoke-A-Cola looking for a way through. Bigly Smalls
and Rainbow Fight, yeah.
Direction of gameplay to Bigly. They're going to have to let her go. 5 points go on the board for Smoke-A-Cola. Titmouse gets up, holds her face, but gets through the pack. No call on the play, so we will assume that nobody saw what she was complaining about. Smoke-A-Cola calling off the jam. No additional points. Good work on the blockers from the Bruisers to keep their hips in front of Smoke-A-Cola's hips. And as we can see in this,
there's
big
that replay.
Hit. Yeah, that's
looks like a shoulder to the chin. Yep. Oh, and she does get called for it.
She picked up the high block. So good noticing on the part of the refs. Doesn't really make the pain of the face go away anymore, though.
It soothes it a little bit.
A little bit.
Sometimes justice is all the salve you need.
182-79, 17 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in this first bout of the doubleheader, the last doubleheader of the season for Toronto Roller Derby. Belfast running into some stiff resistance as she came around the corner trying to get through. She's got a 2-wall at the front and on the outside while Belfast is held up. That's going to be Mad Megs number 420 picking up lead jammer, and Belfast through the pack as well. Pack is trying to speed up. Bruisers trying to keep their points at the front of the pack as Mad Megs comes around looking to score. Belfast trying to pick up the pace. Mad Megs forced to call it off. Points on the board are 3 for the Militia, 0 for the Bruisers.
That'll do them.
So 185-79, under 17 minutes remaining.
There's Mad Meg stuck behind Dawson and Sarcasm. She just jukes around, and I think we've got some good action on both teams, but there's Mad Meg just skating away with it.
Yeah, things looked good for Belfast momentarily, but when she ran into that tough blocking wall, that allowed Mad Megs to get through. Another jam underway. Smoke-A-Cola being pushed out of bounds. That's a combo of Speed and Hawking and Robert Blind trying to contain her. Knocked to the outside is Tyrannosaurus Rex jamming for the second time in this bout. Smoke-A-Cola finding her way through the front of the pack. Misfit Militia once again getting lead jammer, but the speedy jammer from the Bruisers also out of the pack. We've got a jammer race. 2 of the faster jammers that I know of in Ontario Roller Derby hustling around the track. Quick call off, and Smoke-A-Cola picks up 2 for the Misfit Militia.
That was a fast jam there for both teams. Both scrappy jammers. Walls getting broken up, and
I mean, once they get out of the pack, those 2 are just speed demons. They put on the afterburners. And I don't know that the pack is really ready for them to come around as quickly as they do. The only thing that got that jam called off so quickly was Tyrannosaurus hustling to make sure Smoke-A-Cola couldn't pick any more. Lexicon up against the front against Des Destroyer and Nancy Noir. And getting through Lexicon, lead jammer for the Bruisers. Through the pack as well is Zombabe, so Lexicon going to have to be aware as blockers from the Misfit Militia head to the penalty box. Only 1 left on the track.
That is a tough one to beat. It's Runny Rumble. but she does it, and she calls it off with 4 points, 0 for the Militia.
And that pack advantage will continue as, well, it looks like it's 3-on-2 at the moment for the pack. The Bruisers with a slight pack advantage. Titmouse taking the star for the Bruisers. Number 420, Mad Megs, taking the star for the Misfit Militia.
Seeing a lot of nice formations here. We've got a nice like V pattern that trying to force the Misfit Militia into Rainbow Fight, and it doesn't quite work out exactly the way they planned, but it's enough to draw her back to the back of the pack. Meanwhile, Titmouse is at the front. She does better that last blocker, and she shakes her head. She does get lead, unbelievably so, but she does keep her feet on the track.
And that's, that is solely due to the fact that the hard blocking effort of the Bruisers contained Mad Megs for as long as they did so that Titmouse could find her way through the pack. Great work on the part of the ladies in navy and gold. And again, they open up the pack. 5 points allowed to go on the board for Titmouse and the Bruisers. Out of play called, but a track cut forced on Mad Megs.
Yes, she did have a natural grand slam against her. She did cut Rainbow Fight just before Rainbow Fight got sent to the box. And now we do have a power jam for the Bay Street Bruisers.
The Bruisers trailing by almost 100 points, but with an opportunity to close that gap. Titmouse resetting, deciding that she's going to call off the jam, get a new jammer with new fresh legs, more energy back on the track. Probably a wise move as she had been out there.
Yep, we're going to see that there with Rainbow Fight holding Mad Megs. Looks like, yep, nice hit. It looks like a little bit of elbow, but she does deke her around. That one toe stop was all it took for that Mad Meg to get a track cut.
And you know, I believe it was Robert Blind who was on the inside who came back after that hit. That's where the track cut was. Rainbow Fight picked up the penalty, so there wouldn't have been a penalty for cutting her, but Robert Blind had come back and was a jammer that had been in front of, or a blocker that was in front of the jammer for the Misfit Militia. By coming back, that forced a track cut. So really nice awareness on the part of Robert Blind to force that track cut.
Absolutely.
The score is 187-91. The Bruisers down by 96 points. 12 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in this game. You have number 5, 6, 7, 8 Belfast on the line. Rennie Rumble and Nancy Noir, the only two blockers out there for the Misfit Militia. They've been doing a great job all game long, though. But nice work on the part of the Bruisers to pop Belfast free. Lead jammer, she's in the free and clear. And now eligible to score Chrome.
Yep, it looks like Misfit Militia is trying to speed this up. They're trying to dominate the front of that pack, and they are being successful at speeding it up, but they're also really successful at making sure that they break this pack up too. Bruisers doing a great job of breaking up their pack. Dawson takes takes a low block, I believe. A little bit of conversation there between Rennie Rumble and Dawson. Not too happy about being taken away from her buddy there.
No, not at all. Belfast knocked to the inside, asked to reset once again. Power jam is over. Mad Megs out of the penalty box. So Belfast will have to be aware. Rainbow Fight knocking Nancy Noir to the inside. Only one blocker left to beat. That's Des Destroyer with a leg hit.
And that was a nice call by Belfast. She just needed to get those hips past the other blocker, pick up her points, and she did that. And we're going to take another look at that. There is that conversation.
there's the conversation.
Yeah. Dawson taking it in stride, though.
So 187-100. We're going to get a timeout. Not just a timeout, but an official review. Each team gets one official review per half if they wish to use them. You are allowed to go in there and discuss it with the head referee. So a call that you did not like, or a call that was made against you, a call that you would like to have enforced, and perhaps the referees will agree or not. Sometimes things happen so quickly in roller derby that some referees may have had a different angle but did not have time to
call it
call
appropriately,
or realize that another referee was there and perhaps left it for that referee to call, but that referee did not see the call, and so they can back each other up and provide information. And sometimes calls get overturned, Sometimes penalties get enforced that weren't enforced during the jam, and sometimes nothing happens at all.
Right. But at least you had an opportunity to talk about it and share your feelings. We're going to share the score now. Misfit Militia sitting here at 187. The Bay Street Bruisers have just hit that century mark. They have 100 points on the board. There are just under 11 and a half minutes in this bout, and we're still conversing with the refs, it looks like. Maybe it doesn't look like there is any decision made just yet. But it looks like the skaters are ready to go regardless of what the outcome is.
Head referee of this bout is Bonesy Adams, and he will be the one who makes the decision. Just checking things out. And he did have a microphone. I did not hear what he said, so that's a new addition to have the head ref with microphones to tell the crowd what's going on. Doesn't look like anything's going to change though, so scoring remains at 187. Misfit Militia in the white and camo, and 100 for the Bay Street Bruisers in the navy and gold.
And there's Misery May and Robert Blind holding back the jammer from Alliston, but it wasn't quite enough. She does get through. Hot on her tails is Lexicon.
That Lexicon put in on some hustle. It was a nice attempt by the blockers from the Bruisers to contain.
And it looks like she does call that off.
So we just ended up with a jammer race, but time is on the Misfit Militia side. So 0-0 is something they can afford to trade with the Bruisers. Score remains 187 to 100.
And that's also, you know, you really want to assess where your pack is at as well. Like as you're coming around that turn, if you know the jammer's hot on your heels and you see a bunch of points that you want to take up, by all means, it doesn't hurt to try to chop one or two off. But if you have your own blockers in the way, it's better to just call it off. And I think that's exactly what she did. Right now we have Tyrannosaurus Rex for the Bruisers battling a wall at the front. And I can't quite see who's battling at the back, but T-Rex just comes right through. She is lead jammer, and she's got a good half a lap on her. Getcha.
Zombie knocked the outside by Getcha kicks. The speedy Tyrannosaurus Rex gets through the pack untouched. 5 points go on the board for Tyrannosaurus Rex. A track cut is going to send Zombie to the penalty box. It's now a power jam for Tyrannosaurus Rex. She's back around the track. Now bump to the outside, holds her line. A last-ditch effort on Leia Beaton. Knocks her down to the outside. We get a back block to Leia Beaton. Tyrannosaurus Rex resets to the back of the pack, and now she's got to face off against Nancy Noir and Des Destroyer.
Looks like her pack is trying to give her a little inside line. It's not quite working. But she does get the points. Jukes around. I believe that's 15 on this pass.
Tyrannosaurus Rex looking for another scoring pass coming around the track. And nobody touches her on that pass either. Hands go on the hips. 5 more points on the board. The crowd getting back into it as Tyrannosaurus Rex brings the Bruisers up to 115 points, Chrome.
That was a nice pickup. And it looks like we're going to take another look at that hit. The Getcha Kicks lays out on Zombabe. She throws the hit, stops on a stopper. And it looks like it throws a cut. We're going to take another look at the last pass. And there is Tyrannosaurus Rex just sliding through the outside, calling it off.
We're going to get an official timeout, but yeah, T-Rex with that really fast speed. She's a slim and slight jammer, but when she gets moving, her speed is so deceptive. And when she hit the back of the pack, they were unable to adjust to her move to the outside. She was by them before they could get anywhere near her.
Absolutely. Even she's fearless as well. As she's seeing Leia Beaton come at her, she just shows her back and forces that cut. She doesn't mind getting hit to the back so long as it means that she's going to sit for another minute.
So the Bruisers slowly trying to crawl their way back into this game. A late game push, 72 points down. And
we've got some old school derby happening here. We've got pivots with their toe stops on the pivot line. That's so 2008 right here, but leave it to Rainbow Fight, even though she came into derby after 2008 to bring that back. The rule is that if your toe stop is on the pivot line the rest of the pack has to line up behind you. So it gives you that advantage to make sure that they're behind your hips at the start of the pack. And it looks like we have lead jammer for the Bay Street Bruisers.
Yeah, that's Titmouse picking up lead jammer. There was great work done by Turbo Tiff to keep her in the box. A nice little hop, skip, and a jump through on the apex of turn 3. And Titmouse is through the pack, picking up 5 points. The power jam is over. Zombabe trying to fight her way through the pack, but Misery May knocks her down. Misery May still trying to contain her. No, she's going to have to let her go. Titmouse back, looking to engage the back of the pack. Gets past Leia Beaton. Leia Beaton hollering to the front, telling Turbo Tiff to get a piece of Titmouse. Unsuccessful. 4 more points.
Yep, zigzagged right through that. And Bay Street Bruisers are right back on the line. They don't want to waste any more time. 7.5 minutes left in this game.
They've got 3 timeouts left. We're going to see Titmouse once again.
And there she is, zigzagging through that pack, being led to the behind by the Misfit Militia, but it's enough to actually break up the pack and give her some space.
So 7 minutes remaining in the game. 3 timeouts left to the Bay Street Bruisers. Lexicon coming through her own wall, running up against the front wall of Misfit Militia at the front. We're lined up once again at that pivot line. Lexicon still fighting, trying to get through at the back of the pack. Mad Megs is still being contained, but looks like she might have an outside line as she's passed all of the blockers from the Bruisers and picks up lead jammer for the Misfit Militia. Des Destroyer with a nice little hip hit on Lexicon, but she can't keep her in the pack. Mad Megs quickly circling the track, looking to pick up points for the Misfit Militia. Stem the bleeding a little bit, moves to the outside, spins around, nice nifty 360 move, and picks up all 4 points for the Misfit Militia.
Yeah, really in this game, Misfit Militia, all they need to do is really try to contain that momentum that the Bruisers were building on, and I think that jam did exactly that. Although the Bruisers are waiting on that line, ready to go, they're not going to go quietly into the night here. 6 more minutes left in this game, and they're going to give it their all.
Now, interestingly enough, the Bruisers are farther away from the jammer line in this half, and in the first half, they were right by the jammer line. It seemed like they were giving the back of the pack a lot more to the Misfit Militia, but they now seem to have chosen to want to have that jammer line, to have the first blocker line on the track, and they are rushing out there making sure that they have that back of the pack so that they can employ their defense to greater effect.
Yeah, I think what they learned in that first half is that the Misfit Militia are really keen to hold that jammer at all costs, and often they were getting blocker penalties for being out of play. So if the Bruisers are holding that back line and forcing the Misfit Militia to come out of play, it just means more penalties for Misfit Militia, and the Bruisers seem to have clued into that, realized the weakness, and now we're trying to play against that weakness.
Bruisers have outscored the Misfit Militia in the second half of this bout, 73-57, but the score is still 191-124 in the favor of the Misfit Militia, having built up a sizable lead in the first half of this bout. Smoke-A-Cola taking the star for the Misfit Militia, and Belfast taking the star for the Bruisers. Belfast with a little bit of stumble. Smoke-A-Cola also going down. Smoke-A-Cola now taking an outside line. Speedy jammer from the Misfit Militia pushing the 2-wall at the front of the pack. Robert Blind heading to the penalty box for the Bruisers. Smoke-A-Cola going to get through the pack first, but right behind her is Belfast Monochrome.
She's hot on her heels. They both just sort of eked out at the same time, and this is going to force Misfit Militia to call this off. Not exactly favorable for the Bruisers, though. They do want to monopolize every second that they have, narrow this gap.
So the Bruisers have been able to get their jammers out.
We're going to take another look. Go ahead.
Yeah, we've got that Smoke-A-Cola finding that inside line, and then Belfast coming out right after her. So Mad Megs versus T-Rex. Last time T-Rex was out there against Mad Megs. Mad Megs picked up that track cut and allowed T-Rex to pick up 15 points for the Bruisers. We're getting ourselves an official timeout. Again, official timeouts sometimes occur just as a matter of little bookkeeping on the part of penalties. And part of that bookkeeping is that number 007, Tushy Galore, has picked up the 7 trips to the penalty box monochrome. And when 7 trips happen, what happens to a player?
Well, she fouls out of the game. So not only does she not get to play Derby anymore, but she actually has to go back to the dressing room and pout.
No. So she will not see the end of the game. Leah Beaton will take her place for a minute in the penalty box. Mad Megs, the jammer of note, going up against Canadian Psycho, getting past her and picking up lead jammer. Meanwhile, T-Rex is stuck at the back of the pack, trying to get past, gets past Red Hot. Nancy Noir and Des Destroyer still able to contain her, as coming around the back of the pack is Mad Megs looking to pick up points. T-Rex finally escapes from the pack. Mad Megs with 1 to beat. That one is Scarcasm at the front of the pack. Mad Megs calls off the jam. 4 more points for the Misfit Militia. And a timeout to the Bruisers. Bruisers, of course, with 3 timeouts, trailing the game, might as well take advantage of use their time management skills to maximize the number of jams they can get in this game still, monochrome.
Absolutely, and sometimes that minute is enough to just sort of recalibrate, get your bearings, make the clock stop ticking, and really refocus the team. Even if it is a minor thing, you know, you often see any sort of review with the refs to just be an opportunity to rest and regroup. Especially when you're looking at the end of this game, we've got less than 5 minutes in the game. You really just want to monopolize that time and give yourself a bit of thinking time. So
roller derby is an exhausting sport to play. 55 minutes of game time. These ladies will be tired. That 1 minute of extra rest will be. They will be thankful for it at this point in time.
Absolutely, and it's mental rest as well. I mean, this is the only sport out there where you're playing offense and defense simultaneously. It is a thinking woman's sport, so you really need that time to just meditate and think about your next steps and think about that next jam instead of worrying about what happened 2 or 3 jams ago.
Full contact chess on skates has been one of the descriptions I've heard. And getting through the pack for the Misfit Militia after that timeout, Mad Megs once again picking up lead jammer for the ladies from Alliston, still stuck in the pack as Lexicon bumped to the inside by Ready Rumble. Another hit by Des Destroyer. Lexicon shrugs both those off. Back in the pack is Mad Megs, goes down, gets up quickly again. Bigly Smalls trying to force her to the outside. Misery May puts a hip on her, forces her to call it off, but not before she picks up all 4 points. Jerome.
That Mad Megs is a mad woman. She is slicing through this pack. I believe she has probably scored the most points for Alliston in this game. No question that she deserves to be on that Ontario squad.
Yeah, she's a fantastic skater. Great performance during the tryouts. Well
there you see her
warranted.
going down and just picking herself right back up. She's got those 2 to beat, but she just jukes around those hips and holds her ground, calls it off.
And she's one of those solid, hard-hitting jammers that can absorb a lot of punishment and make her own holes in the walls. We do have another official review going on right now. This official review is the Bruisers official review. So both official reviews have been used in this half. We won't get another one of those. But the Bruisers just calling into question something from the last jam. We'll see if they get any satisfaction from head referee Bonesy Adams.
And meanwhile, the Misfit Militia are going to use this opportunity to take that back line. Captain Rennie Rumble just using that time to talk about strategy just before the Bruisers take the line as well.
So it looks like they were complaining about contact against the jammer. The contact was declared legal, and therefore no penalty was issued. Nothing changes as a result of that official review, but you don't get to take the official reviews home and keep them in a closet somewhere, so you might as well use them during a bout.
Fair enough.
Regardless of whether you get them, if you get satisfaction or not, you might as well use them. That's what I do when I'm coaching. That's right. Game back underway. 4 minutes remaining in this bout. Zombabe trying to fight her way through the front of the pack. Picks up lead jammer for the Misfit Militia. Still stuck at the back of the pack. Titmouse trying to fight her way through. Zombabe skating her way around the track. Looking to approach the back. She is on her scoring pass. Titmouse having to recycle all the way to the back of the pack once again for the Bruisers. Zombabe down on the ground. Titmouse holding the side of her face once again. Sometimes the shorter skaters do get the worst of it on the track. Almost a track cut against Titmouse, but 5 points will go up on the board for Zombie as she gets through the pack for the Misfit Militia. Zombie coming around the track once again on the back of the pack, knocked to the outside, resets, tries to come in on the inside. Titmouse is out of the pack, so Zombie forced to call it off, picking up a single additional point for the Misfit Militia. That will push them to 200 points.
Not bad at all. Bay Street Bruisers still at 124. 3 minutes, 11 seconds in this bout. I don't want to call it just yet, but it's going to be pretty tough. And it looks like Misfit Militia's points just went back up. So we have 205 for the Misfit Militia. So sizable lead for the team from Alliston. They're definitely Alliston's darlings. They're skating out of Alliston's Memorial Arena, which was in danger of not staying open. And Roller Derby has swooped into the community and saved a wonderful arena. So they're definitely congratulated from that, and they're really representing their city well.
I don't know if you've ever been up there to play at the Alliston Arena, but it's a fantastic old school hockey arena. Would have cost them too much to repair it and get it in shape to put ice back on there, but a great opportunity for the skaters from Alliston to have a place that doesn't have ice all winter long, and they'll be able to skate, improve their skills. The community gets a team that's going to be able to pay money into it and keep this arena open that can be used for other community events as well. 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in this bout. Tyrannosaurus Rex wearing the star for the Bruisers. Smoke-a-Cola wearing it for the Misfit Militia. Smoke-a-Cola stuck on the inside up against a front wall, out of play, means that she's going to be through first. Lead jammer going to the jammer from the Misfit Militia. Tyrannosaurus Rex knocked to the inside by her own blocker, Robert Blind, I believe. She was knocked into her by Turbo Tiff. Turbo Tiff going to the box for a forearm as a result of that hit. Through the pack is Smoke-a-Cola for 5 points for the Misfit Militia. Tyrannosaurus having to reset once again as Rennie Rumble had knocked her out and done the Soul Crush drawback at the end. And once again knocked to the inside by Rennie Rumble. Tyrannosaurus Rex having trouble getting through this pack. And Smoke-a-Cola at the front. Nice hit by Misery May, knocking her to the ground. Smoke-a-Cola goes down once again. Misery May waiting for her at the front of the pack. Doesn't want to let her get through. Wants to keep the score against the Bruisers down as low as she can. Trying to slow up the blocker. Smoke-a-Cola knocked to her knees once again. And Bigley Smalls. And Misery May have to let her go. Smoke-a-Cola escapes, holding her nose.
I think she's hoping for a high block, but I think she actually got hit in the face while she was already going down of her own accord, so no penalty for the Bruisers, but she's mad enough that she can just squeak on by through those hips. T-Rex finally out of the penalty, or where is she? Where is she? She's in the pack. She's out of the pack. She's skating around in circles. There's only a minute and a half to go, and I'm falling apart here.
Smoke-a-Cola calls off the jam as she gets past Speed and Hawk and picks up the 2 points that were in the penalty box as well. And here comes a shot to the nose that Smoke-a-Cola picked up. Let's see if we can see the impact. Oh, there it is. Sort of had her face rubbed against the back of Bigley Smalls there.
And just, they decided to tap her on through. A few little baby taps.
That's right, a little pinball motion to get her on her way. So the Misfit Militia are at 222, Bay Street Bruisers at 124. We're ticking down into the time of game when we hit the last jam. Looks like the final timeout for the Bay Street Bruisers has been taken, so they cannot stop the clock anymore in this game. A little bit of dancing on the line between Mad Megs and Belfast.
Yep.
Something you often see at Roller Derby at near the end of the game, especially when the game is somewhat out of reach.
Yep.
The record for a single jam, I believe, is still 45 points for a women's flat track roller derby, so probably...
I think it's safe to call
Yeah,
it.
I think we're probably...
Yeah, we're okay.
But regardless, Every jam is a new jam, Monochrome. We know that. Yep. And Belfast gets through the pack. No problem at all. Lead jammer for the Bay Street Bruisers. Mad Meg's also escaping from the pack as well. Belfast approaching the back of the pack, looking to pick up points, goes to the outside. Nobody touches her, calls off the jam, puts 4 points on the board of the side of the board for the Bay Street Bruisers, and we will have enough time to get one more jam.
See, it happens every time you call one last jam. There's at least one more.
It's the curse of the announcer.
Yeah.
So now
clock is ticking. We do have 30 seconds on the board, so now we can call it the last.
This
jam.
will be the last jam of the game. Looks like Lexicon going up against Smoke-A-Cola. 4-on-3 pack advantage for the Bruisers. We'll see if they can use that to their advantage.
Looks like Speedin did some short work on Smoke-A-Cola. She's stuck behind Rainbow Fight and Speedin there. Meanwhile, looks like Lexicon is also stuck against a wall of her own, looking for some help from Misery May. She does have one to beat, and she does it. She is lead jammer. I predict that this will be a 2-minute jam. The Bruisers have no interest in stopping the clock now.
Yeah, nice little
close this gap.
Nice little face-to-face look as Lexicon and Rennie Rumble went at it, but Lexicon managed to get the best of it, juking her way through, getting that lead jammer now back in the pack, being forced to come back. Rennie Rumble and Rainbow Fight getting into it at the back, blocker on blocker confrontation.
Well, and that's because Rainbow Fight was forcing Coca-Cola at the back of the pack. They were both doing the same thing against the opposing jammers. And it looks like Smoke-A-Cola is back on the track. Meanwhile, Lexicon is stuck at the back.
The Smoke-A-Cola going up against the front, only Bigly Smalls to beat. And now Rainbow's there. Yep.
They're both doing those signature moves, holding her back. Rainbow has to let her go.
And with 40 seconds remaining in the jam, Lexicon can call it off if she wants to. We'll see how much more punishment she wants to absorb. Hit to the outside by Nancy Noir. Looked like she was going to call off. Her coach
bench told her no.
That's right, the Derby nerd from the bench said don't call it off. Skate for another 30 seconds. She gets back into it. Smoke-A-Cola and Lexicon are both in the pack, both eligible to pick up points. Des Destroyer trying to free the way for Smoke-A-Cola. Misery May, the last line of defense. Will she be able to contain Smoke-A-Cola at the front? Face-to-face blocking. She's got to let her go. Picks up a direction of gameplay, Misery May does, and she goes to the box. Time runs out on the jam. Time runs out in this game, Monochrome.
And that was it. Misfit Militia taking away a win from the Bay Street Bruisers from Toronto. Misfit Militia coming in from Alliston. They started at 6. They may very well climb up in the ranks. Bay Street Bruisers likely going to stay close to that 8th position. And the game, not quite final yet score. And right now we are sitting with Misfit Militia unofficial score at 126. Bay Street Bruisers with 132. That is a win for Alliston.
Monochrome, fun calling this with you. We're going to take a break. You've been watching us on Rogers TV. I believe so.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
We'll do our best.
All right.
There we go.
All right, are we in camera? There we go.
There we are.
Hi. Hello. Welcome back to the bunker on Rogers TV. Final score for the Bay Street Bruisers is 132. Misfit Militia took it away at 226. We're here with Lexicon, MVP for Bay Street Bruisers. How did that game feel for you?
It was really tough. I was pretty nervous going into it. I had practiced with the Militia at Gore's practice, and I knew that it was going to be difficult, so kind of in that mindset, and we did the best that we could. Yeah.
And this is your first full season with the Bruisers. Very exciting season for the Bruisers all year long. What are you looking forward to in 2014? Where are the Bruisers going? Where are you going?
Well, I came in halfway through this Bruiser season, so it was, there was a lot of adjusting into a new team and going into an already developed team. So if I make the Bruisers next season, I'm just looking forward to doing the same thing, having a structured team and just working together as Bruisers.
So the Misfit Militia have chosen you as the MVP jammer for that bout. Obviously, that's got to be a huge honor coming into this season, second half. How do you feel about next season? Do you think you'll be staying in that position, or are you going to be doing anything else on the track?
I would love to do more blocking. I was primarily, I jammed all of the Bruisers games. The first one, they put me into blocks just to see how I would work with the team. But I'm definitely looking forward to doing some more blocking and maybe learning to pivot more and just being more well-rounded as a player on the track.
That's great. Thanks, Lexicon.
Thank you.
Congratulations on winning MVP for the Bay Street Bruisers.
Thanks.
Okay. Hi.
Went in.
Do you want to hold the mic?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah. And just talk right into the top of it. Yeah.
Yep. And we are now joined with Zombabe from the Misfit Militia. Misfit Militia winning this bout. Very exciting season for the Misfit Militia. Nice way to end it for you guys.
Yeah.
How was the bout today?
The bout today was really good. Our goal was to keep calm, keep everything together, stay together, don't try to be a hero and do the big hits, and it worked really well for us. So, yeah.
Coming into this game, did you have any preparation, or did you know anything about Toronto, or did you just come in clean?
Well, our captain has a lot of background with Toronto Roller Derby, as well as we did take time to prep and look into the players that we were going to be playing against. So just to make ourselves aware of what to watch out for and everything, and it seemed to work to our advantage. So.
Now, what are you planning to do for next year? You've had a great season so far. What's in the future for you?
We're gonna just keep training. We're able to train throughout the winter, so we're gonna keep going, keep pushing, work on the things that we need to work on, and figure out our weaknesses, and just keep going. Yeah.
Great. And is Women Flat Track Derby Association in your future, or
I
staying
think that's
independent?
definitely a possibility. Right now, we're just trying to focus on becoming a really strong team together. Recruiting more ladies as well. So, yeah, definitely I think that's something we're going to consider for sure.
Great. Thanks so much for talking with us, and
Yeah.
congratulations on your award.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we actually have one more, a blocker MVP from the Militia. Okay?
There she is. She's towering over us.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, where do I look? Sorry.
The
Camera
camera's
right
right
there.
there. Yeah.
Or you can look at us, either way.
It's conversational.
Yeah. And we are now joined with the MVP blocker from the Misfit Militia. It's Nancy Noir.
Hello.
Solid effort out there. Your blocking was fantastic. The blocking effort on the part of the Misfit Militia was really solid. What have you guys been working on in your practices to bring the blockers together?
Well, together is exactly what we've been working on. Together is always better. Our coach, Rennie Rumble, has drilled that into our heads for weeks and weeks and weeks. And also, just playing basic derby. You're protecting points or you're getting points.
Great. And definitely a solid effort. I was seeing a lot of according out. Is that something that do you feel that that's your game, or were you trying different things? Like, how do you go into a game against a team that maybe you're familiar with, but how do you think this win came about, I guess is my question.
We played really, really hard. We fought hard. We knew we were coming into this game. We knew it was going to be a tough game, probably the hardest. It was definitely the hardest of the year. And as for that pulling back, that's just part of, we want to control the jammer all the time. We want to be in control of the pack, and yeah, we just want to stay calm, stay in control, stay together.
Well, you guys came into this bout ranked number 6 in Canada. Bruisers were number 8. You guys have reinforced the fact that you are one of the strongest teams in this country. You're going to keep on working towards that in 2014, yes?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We are we're serious about playing the best derby we can possibly play. We all work hard. We train even when we're not at practice. We try and train, just working out and stuff, and thinking about the game too. You really have to know the game of derby to win a game of derby.
Great, thanks a lot, Nancy Noir from the Misfit Militia, MVP blocker of this bout.
Thank you. Thanks.
Welcome.
Sounds good. So we saw the Misfit Militia showing the dominance that they have had all season long and last season as well in Canadian Roller Derby, taking down the B team, the tough B team from the Toronto Roller Derby, the Bay Street Bruisers. Dominating win, and Misfit Militia really serving notice to the roller derby community out there that they're a team to be reckoned with.
Absolutely. I don't think that the Bruisers they expected a fight, but they didn't expect to, I think, lose as badly as they did. And it was really in part of, the Misfit Militia holding that together. As Nancy Noir said earlier, she really just, they dominated that track. They made sure that they were throwing those jammers out on the track and making sure that they stayed in the box so that they couldn't score points. And I think that was really the game changer that we saw tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think the end result that everyone has to be able to take away from this game is the Misfit Militia are legit. They are a serious threat to every team out there in Canada. And the Bruisers are tough too, but man, those Militia girls, lots of bodies hitting the floor out there.
Yep, definitely a team to watch, and enough to keep the Bay Street Bruisers on their toe stops.
Well, thanks for watching us at the Bunker in Downsview, Ontario, Canada, Downsview Park, Ontario, Canada. You've been watching us on Rogers TV. All right.
Thank you.
Welcome, everyone, to the bunker in Downsview Park, Toronto. I'm the Derby Nerd here with Monochrome once again to call this Toronto Roller Derby game here on Rogers TV. Tonight we have a very, very special showdown, a WFTDA, a women's flat track. Oh, shit, right, of course. Yes, sorry. Welcome to the bunker in Downsview Park and this Rogers TV presentation of Toronto Roller Derby. Tonight, we have a special WFTDA showdown featuring the Grand Raggidy Roller Girls against Toronto Roller Derby's CN Power. Coming up. Welcome, everyone, to trackside at the bunker.
quit it, get your points, get off the track, get the next play going.
And as we said before, Mort, this is their first appearance at a WFTDA playoff tournament. They are making the most of it. They are playing like they want to be here. I am impressed.
How do you feel about throwing people's bonanza brackets already a little bit into a fray?
It feels really great.
Toronto being a 10th seed, coming in and playing number 2, they're looking very good.
You know, ranked 39, came in, surprised everybody, not only internationally, but just I think here in Salem, people were not expecting them to come in as strong as they did, and they did a great job.
Wow, Toronto's raised a couple of eyebrows this weekend, haven't they?
Indeed they have. We were not expecting that.
Had their cheese balls bearings bracket just busted with. I'm guessing that there are some folks in Toronto that goes, yeah, this is not a surprise to us. We have a very solid roller derby program. We have a very solid roller derby team, and we knew that they would come out and have a great showing, and they have.
They do. They're making Canada proud right now.
And this could do it. The period clock expired. How about that, Mike? Nice takedown on the inside by Rennie Rumble.
This is what I wanted to see. This is exactly the kind of play we're hoping for. These two teams right now seated very low, 8 and 10 when they walked into this tournament. They're playing right now for 5 and 6.
You got to hand it to the ladies from Toronto, Mike, because they are in their first playoff appearance at WFTDA tournament action. You see them over there getting their pictures taken, and it is you know that they are just over the moon right now. Well, we have
Bitty Bang Bang, 77 Lucy Morals, number 83 is Ringo Death Star, number 88 Garden Home, and number 98, Cost a Lot of Chaos. Working the bench for Grand Raggidy, your bench coaches are Luda Leveler and Lil Haha. Ladies and gentlemen, the Grand Raggidy All-Star. And now, your home team in the pink, recently ranked at number 32 in the entire WFTDA. Ladies and gentlemen, your All-Stars, CN Power! Leading off, number 111, Santa Muerta. Number 1205 is Rennie Rumble. Number 2, Dusty. 2x4, Nasher, the Smasher. 2020, Candy Crossbones. A little drunken monkey thrown in for good luck. Number 204, Motorhead Molly. Number 21, Dinah Hercha. Number 22, she's kind of a big deal. It's Mia Culprit. Number 27, Jubilee. Number 31 is Bruisers Pie. Number 33, it's Bambi. Number 7, Rebel Rocket. Number 905, Ballerina. And number 99, it's Pantyhoser. Your alternates for CN Power tonight are 212 Lady Gaga, number 26 Megamouth, working the bench Sonic Doom and His Unholiness, the Reverend Ramirez. Once again, CN Power!
Welcome back, everyone, to the bunker in Downsview Park. Once again, I'm the Derby Nerd here with Monochrome to call all of this action in this WFTDA regular season showdown between Toronto's CN Power in the pink and black and the Grand Raggidy Roller Girls from Grand Rapids, Michigan in the black and blue.
Both teams poised and ready to go right off this first whistle. That's Motorhead Molly jamming for CN Power. And she's moving too fast. I can't see who's jamming for Grand Raggidy.
That is Ultra Fox, number 17 in the black. She takes the first lead jam. Goes to Grand Rapids. Both of these teams actually coming off of the 2013 WFTDA playoffs. But this, interestingly enough, this game will count toward the 2014 regular season. Nice defense at the back of the pack from Santa Muerta, forcing Ultra Fox out, forcing the call off. No points on the board. Nice start. I believe that is going to be Shotgun Shell coming up now to the jammer line for Grand Rapids. And she is out there against Ballerina. Ballerina is coming off of an extraordinary playoff. She was second on the team in scoring and 200 points. Unbelievable number for 4 playoff games. She had a very strong playoff.
And there is a great example of how she did it. Just juking around through that outside line, making it real easy. Her team helping her through. Grand Rapids still stuck behind. Bruisers Pie and Rennie Rumble, who is doing double duty tonight.
That's right, Rennie Rumble played earlier in a game for the Misfit Militia from Allison, Ontario. Now she's back here, back dressed in Toronto colors for CN Power. Ballerina on a scoring pass. She's got 2 to beat at the front of the pack, gets knocked to the outside, but eventually makes her way almost through.
1 more to beat. That's number 83, Ringo Death Star. Just enough time for Shotgun Shell to take the lead.
Number 31, Bruisers Pie. You're seeing the pivot. Look at her open up that inside line for Ballerina. Unbelievable play from Bruisers Pie. She was one of the phenomenal blockers for Toronto in the recent playoffs. And she is continuing that play tonight. Dinah Hirsch is back out there now with the pivot stripe, number 21, and that's number 2, Dusty, the co-captain of CN Power on the jam line for the home team in pink. And no penalties yet. 5-on-5 roller derby in the early goings of this one. National the Smasher getting forced to the back of the pack. Dusty not able to make much progress. Santa once again with some nice defense at the front of that pack. Just got to let her go. At number 77, Lucy Morals is your lead jammer. 2 for 3 now for Grand Rapids to start this game.
Lucy Morals was also a star of the Fort Wayne playoffs for Division 1. Oh, and there is some question about that call-off, but Dusty does make it through.
Steal, no points for Dusty. 1 going up for Grand Rapids. Number 111, Santa Muerta, off to a hot start for the skaters in pink. Speaking of hot, Bambi on the jam line for CN Power. She has been unbelievable this season. I mean, I know she is a veteran here in Toronto Roller Derby, but she has just stepped it up to a whole new level, scored 258 points in the 4 playoff games for CN Power and recorded a 50% lead percentage. Unbelievable numbers. But no, she is a no pass, no penalty to the Grand Rapids jammer, so Bambi is your lead jammer. Ultra Fox, though, is in the lead, so Bambi calls it off. We'll reset. Now, Chrome, you've played against Bambi for many years when he was part of the house league.
Let's watch how she does that. Ultra Fox looks like she's snuck on the inside. And Bambi still trying to get through, but she does end up making it out.
She's so small. Now, what's she like to play against?
I liken her to a feather on a string. It is, once you hit her, she manages to just sweep around you. Like, it actually touching her and hitting her is the worst thing that you can do. And I think that Grand Rapids is going to learn that real quick. Really the way to isolate her is to just be in her way. And slow her down.
Well, they are doing a really nice job of getting their jammers through. Number 44, Shotgun Shell, is your lead jammer. As Motorhead Molly, number 204 in the pink, is held up in the pack. She's got one to beat at the front, and she does get through, but she's got about a half a lap to make up. So Grand Rapids off to a really nice start. Down by 5 with an opportunity to pull close. Nasher the Smasher with some nice defense to the outside, forces the call off.
Yeah, and that was a nice hit by number 88, Gardenhoe. Also a blocker to watch.
Yeah, Gardenhoe, another veteran. She does jam on occasion for Grand Rapids, but mostly you'll see her in the pack.
She's very similar to Dinah in that way. Dinah Hercher from CN Power. She's primarily a heavy-hitting blocker, but when you need a jammer who can take the blows and just keep moving, that's who you put out on the star.
And we saw that in the playoffs too, Dinah coming in at very key moments. Ballerina back on the line now. She picked up lead jammer and a handful of points the first time she was up, and she's out there once again against Lucy Morals. Lucy Morals, though, at the front of the pack, another lead jammer status for Grand Rapids.
Still a super tight game right now. Only 3 points separating these teams. And number 83 does have to let her go. That's Ringo Death Star trying to do that last-minute offense.
Looks like Rennie Rumble's going to be called on a cut, number 1205 being sent off. And not a lot of pack penalties right now, and the way these two teams are playing, you have to have a feeling that pack penalties are going to have an impact on this game.
Absolutely.
Very tight defense in the early going. Number 17 in the black out there for Grand Rapids, that's Ultra Fox, and number 2, Dusty. Dusty had a strong game and a loss in the playoffs against Atlanta just a few weeks ago. If you want to catch any of those games, go to WFTDA.tv, search for Toronto Roller Derby. All the games are archived. You can catch them all. Dusty now pushing to the outside, gets knocked out, forced to come in at the back of the pack. Ultra Fox pushing at the front. Dusty being held nicely. Lindsay Blohan with some nice defense. She is one of the captains of Grand Rapids. Nice! Nasher the Smasher with the last line of defense. Hit out on Ultra Fox, forces her all the way to the back of the pack.
Dusty still fighting at the front, and she does get through.
It looks like Ultra Fox was named lead jammer despite being pulled back, so she has the power to call it off, and she does just that.
And we're going to take a look at that hit Nasher threw on Ultra Fox. Looks like Dinah Hercher was trying. Nasher just finishes her off and cleanly skates back, looking for a hole to draw her back to.
Here's a stat, Chrome. Nasher the Smasher paid 80% of CN Power's jams during this year's playoffs. 4 games, 80% of the jams.
And I think that you can clearly see that's why they did so well. Nasher has just continued every season, season after season, to improve beyond anyone's wildest dreams. Mia Culprit, another blocker to watch. She's at the back with number 44 from Grand Raggidy. That Shotgun Shell being isolated at the back of the pack. Meanwhile, Bambi having some trouble at the front.
But as you said, as soon as they tried to hit her, she was able to just sneak her way around. She's so good at staying close to that wall and avoiding those big sweeping hits. Slight size advantage for these Grand Rapids packs, but it's not really having an effect so far. Nice move by the Grand Raggidy jammer to get by Bluesberry Pie and Candy Crossbones at the front of that CN Power pack. Bambi coming in on her scoring pass, goes through, picks up points, calls it off.
Once again, showing that you just need to bounce off. So we're going to take a look at that again. There she is looking.
Push, push,
1
push.
on 4, push, push, push. And just when she's going to take a hit, you're going to see it. She's going to just pop right out.
Unbelievable.
And there she is, just breaking through despite her size.
Nice work from Bambi at the front of that pack. We've got 204, Motorhead Molly back on the line in the pink for CN Power. And Lucy Morals for Grand Rapids. Once again, we see CN Power running in the front of the pack. Jubilee with a nice knockout to Lucy Morals, forces her back. The lead jammer goes to Motorhead Molly. Motorhead Molly completing her first season not only in Toronto Roller Derby, but here for the all-star team, CN Power.
But she's not new to roller derby.
No.
She definitely played as an all-star for Tri-City as well. Tri-City Thunder doing very well in Division 2.
That's right. They are also members of the WFTDA. A lower division, but still competitive roller derby in Kitchener, Ontario. Nice job, natural grand slams here for Motorhead Molly to build the biggest lead of the game, 15-5 now as we come up to the 10-minute mark. Are there going to be points added to that?
Yes, there are. 19 points for CN Power, 5 for Grand Rapids. 10 minutes gone in this bout.
19-5, 10 minutes in. Unbelievable start for CN Power. As we've mentioned, over the past 2 years, CN Power is 0-2 against this Grand Rapids team. Both of those games, though, were in Grand Rapids. And they play on a very, very unusual floor, to say the least. All right, Ballerina, though, is having an outstanding start to this game. Picks up another lead jammer status as Bruisers Pie goes one-on-one against Ultra Fox at the back of that pack. Strong defense once again from CN Power. Candy Crossbones is the last line of defense. Oh, and Candy Crossbones draws the low block major power jam for CN Power.
It's definitely what made them famous at divisionals and what's going to make them famous tonight.
That jam ends. CN Power will have about 30-40 seconds to work with in this second of 2 jams with the power jam. Let's try to see if we can take a look at that penalty and where it was drawn.
There's Candy Crossbones. Oh, no.
Oh, it looks like it was on Bruisers Pie. Her foot, an errant foot, causing Bruisers Pie to trip. You must be in control of your strides. Looks like some confusion there on the track. Brief official review called, but looks like things are cleared up. Dusty now on this power start for CN Power. Only 2 blockers on the track.
Looks like her team's going to make her fight for it on her own. Just going to try to chip away at this garden hoe, giving her some hard hits. They're keeping it tight, but they are out of play, and she does get called out. Dusty is through, lead jammer.
Dusty now already around on her scoring pass, comes up to the back wall, hits it hot, and it looks like she is going to be called off now on a back block major. You cannot hit the numbers of the opposing player and use that to your advantage. So Dusty ends the power jam for CN Power. Nonetheless, they've increased their lead to 23-5 here in the first period.
That's going to spring Ultra Fox out of the box. Dusty's going to serve the same amount of time that Ultra Fox served on her own. She's through the pack just past Dinah Hercha, and I believe that was Mia Culper at the front. Nope, that's Nasher the Smasher.
Bruisers Pie and Mia Culprit, though, back on the track. Penalties have expired. 4-3 pack advantage for CN Power. Ultra Fox doing some nice work to try and get around this wall, but again, you see Nasher and Bruisers Pie, that last line of defense. Dinah Hercha locked in one-on-one. Tushy Tulips, number 33. Trashy Tulips trying to provide some offense for Grand Rapids.
Dinah coming back to the pack, smartly keeping her other players in play.
That's right, you're allowed to engage within 20 feet of the pack. So that's why CN Power has some time, and a nice knockout by Dinah Hercha. Oh, Dinah Hercha takes a big back block. No call made. Dusty, though, able to get through, gets around for the scoring pass.
Ultra Fox still stuck. Looks like even her own players are getting in her way. She's getting winded.
Phenomenal defense on that power kill from CN Power. Allowed Dusty to come out of the box and pick up points immediately, and she's on another scoring pass.
She lost her panty, it looks like. She's going to have to clean up the track.
Losing her helmet cover on that one. Dusty, there she is, the longtime member of CN Power and co-captain coming off the track.
And we're going to take another look at Dusty here. This is where she got that penalty. Push that player from behind.
Let's see now. Dinah Hercha. Oh, and it looks like what they're going to do is give equal collision. Dinah was going the wrong way on the track, and the Grand Rapids blocker back blocked her, and that's why neither blocker went to the penalty box. Trashy Tulips, veteran Grand Raggidy skater, in the box right now.
the refs are discussing things with the bench.
It's head referee Bonesy Adams explaining things to, that's a Lil Haha for Grand Rapids and His Holiness, the Reverend Ramirez, bench coach of Toronto. 32-8 is your updated score. Shotgun shell number 44 out there in the black to face off against number 33, Bambi.
CN Power doing a great job of making a hole. She just has one to beat, and she does it. That was Bette Mangler holding her back for just a split second. But CN Power making short work of holding shotgun shell at the back of the pack.
Oh, and Pantyhoser, I believe, doing some nice work on the inside, drawing a cutting major, and it's a second power jam of the game for CN Power. Nice work from number 99 and her line mates. Now have a 4-2 pack advantage on a power jam with their leading scorer out there to skate. Almost a perfect situation.
Yep. And Bambi takes advantage of it, makes just those small little movements to get through and around. Grand Rapids looking tentative, waiting for the storm that is Bambi. It's going to come through. Pantyhoser trying to make some room, sweeping across. But Bambi making short work on her own. Bette Mangler trying to take her out, but they are way out of the pack here and have to let her go.
Yeah, just seeing that trust from the CN Power bench, allowing Bambi to go up there and face that three-wall on her own, and every time she's able to just juke and jive and inside, outside, split them apart. Oh, and there's a nice sweep, though, from CN Power. Inside-out sweep allows Bambi to get through for 5 more points.
Yep. She does look tired, but definitely her team is making it a little bit easier for her. Bruisberry Pie looking like she's having a cuddle there in the front.
Oh, and Bette Mangler, number 00, with a nice little block out to Bambi on the inside, forcing her to the back of the pack. Grand Rapids Jammer is back on the track. Bambi, though, picks up 5 more. Takes a look at her bench, and finally is going to call that one off.
You can almost see her pleading with her bench. Really? Come on. Haven't I scored enough here?
Where she is taking a breath as she comes up in a nice little outside, pulls Bette Mangler, and then shoots inside. And look at this hit from Bruisberry Pie.
Yep.
Perfectly timed offense in front of that pack. 57-8, the midway point of this first period. This WFTDA showdown.
That's Motorhead Molly with the star for CN Power in the pink. And number 77, Lucy Morals for Grand Rapids, stuck behind a pink wall. Both jammers having a tricky time, but Motorhead Molly does make it out with lead jammer status.
That was cost a lot of chaos with some nice defense for Grand Rapids in the pack. Grand Rapids didn't do quite as well as CN Power did at the playoffs. Oh, and you see a big collision between the two Grand Rapids skaters at the back of the pack. Oh, Motorhead Molly shaking off. Cost a little chaos' hit. She is through. Another 4 points.
A nice little assist with Jubilee, pushing her in. Just giving her that nice little push to give her some space. Jubilee at the front, giving one little tap, but it wasn't enough to hold back Grand Rapids. Bench is asking to just call that off. Motorhead Molly complies.
Jubilee, another skater who is having a strong end to the 2013 season. She was also unbelievable in the playoffs, as most of CN Power was, but she actually finished with a plus-minus of 104 over the 4-game playoff. So unbelievable season for Jubilee.
And I believe I recall her playing at least half of the jams out there.
Yeah.
I think her percentage was somewhere around the 47 mark.
Yes, that's right. She was right up there. They were one of the few jammers to really get up there in terms of just under that 50% jam percentage. Grand Rapids had a rough time at the WFTDA playoffs. They got smoked by Wasatch out of Salt Lake City and the Rose City Rollers out of Portland, Oregon. They lost by about 250 points in both those games. They did manage to pick up a little bit of an upset over Bleeding Heartland from Bloomington, Indiana. And that allowed them to at least hold on to 52nd spot in the WFTDA. CN Power jumped from 39th in the playoffs to 32nd, where they still sit. So This is the largest gap in rankings between these two teams that we've seen.
And Bleeding Heartland seems to be the team that had them in common. There was a game in Bleeding Heartland's hometown. CN Power beat them very narrowly, and that was the game that put CN Power in playoff position.
And they've just been on a roll since.
They've been on a roll.
All right, we are back now with action on the track. Ballerine out there to jam for CN Power, but she does not get lead. A rare sight for Ballerine in this game. Instead, lead goes to Ultra Fox. Ultra Fox trying to get into that pack and score some points and call it off before Bala catches up. Did Bala manage to steal one? Looks like...
She thinks she got two.
She did not.
Where did her ref? Nope, her ref says 0.
3-0 jam for Grand Rapids.
We're going to take another look at that. That's Ultra Fox approaching the pack. It's nice and spread out for her. She's going to scoop up the points. She's looking at her ref saying, come on, man.
And there's Bala asking for 2. Not to be. 65-11, 12 minutes to go in the first half. An official timeout being called.
Oh, and it looks like Bala's ref is holding up 3. So she did pick up 3 points in that jam.
Nice work by the referees to get it right. 7 referees officiating these WFTDA sanctioned bouts.
That is Dusty with the star for pink. She's battling it out against Shotgun Shell, number 44 for Grand Rapids. 1 to beat, and she is out of the pack. She does have lead jammer status. Shotgun Shell being dragged back by Dinah Hercha. Oh, nice hit to the inside, distracting the rest of the pack, and Dusty is able to sweep through and pick up 5 points on a natural grand slam. Shotgun Shell not yet out of the pack.
Unbelievable pack defense from these 3 CN Power blockers who have really stepped up at the end of this season. National Smasher, Dinah Hercha, Jubilee doing it all out there for their jammer. And now Dusty's going to play a little jammer on jammer action with Shotgun Shell.
It's like Jubilee did get a cut. So she is going to the penalty box. So CN Power is going to play this bout 1 short. Sorry, this jam 1 short.
4-3 pack advantage, as you just said, Chrome. Oh, 4-2 pack advantage, sorry. There was already 1 in the box. She is standing, that's Bruiseberry Pie. Number 31 is standing, as you can see.
She's got 10 more seconds or less left in her minute.
And Lucy Morals. Oh, sorry, Lucy Morals wearing the stripe this time as the pivot. Should point out, if you are new to women's flat track roller derby, the pivot is allowed to actually accept a pass of the star from the jammer, and she can become the jammer. Which is why you see skaters like Lucy Morals often wearing the stripe as a backup jammer.
It's a nice little strategy, but also keep in mind they cannot become lead jammer. So it is definitely something when you're stuck at the back and you have nowhere else to go and you know that other jammer's coming around, it's a good time to pass.
That's right. And this will be the first jam of the game for Extreme Tack. She is again another backup jammer for Grand Rapids. She usually gets in for a couple jams a game, but primarily plays in the pack. And there's a look at number 33, Bambi.
Smart jammer choice when you've got a box full of blockers, you know, and especially if you've got Nasher out there helping you.
Yep.
You want to put
Nasher,
your best people out there.
Number 2x4 there with Candy Crossbones, the lone 2 blockers on the back for CN Power. Candy Crossbones, number 2020, is actually a converted jammer to blocker. And again, they still use her on occasion when they need more of a physical approach to the jammer line, but she's just, years and years as a blocker, she's got that instinct for the offense. Really quick transitions into helping out her jammers. Some CN Power fans here at the bunker cheering on their team. There's a lot of pink in the bunker tonight. This is the final game not only for CN Power of the season, but it's the final game for Toronto Roller Derby of the 2013 season. An incredibly successful year for this league. And this team, CN Power, at the top of it all, currentently ranked 2nd in all of Canada. And we're off. Bambi being held by the 4 wall at the back of the pack. Candy Crossbones at 2x4 National Smasher alone up front. Nice offense coming from Trashy Tulips for Grand Rapids, but Nasher the Smasher will not be beat. Bambi knocked to the inside, dragged all the way back. A stretched pack. Look at that, as far as you can stretch that track. The lead jammer, though, goes to Extreme Tack. Bambi being held for the first time and having a really hard time. She's heading to the penalty box. Low block major. Back. So a tripping call, it looks like. We didn't see it ourselves, but over around turn 3. First power jam of the game now for Grand Rapids.
It was low tack that did a back block on Nasher. So Bambi is immediately released, which means that we're going to have both jammers out on the track very soon. But Grand Rapids making it really hard for Bambi to enter in. They're dragging back as far as they possibly can. And we've got both jammers on the track once again.
Yeah, this is the hardest Bambi has had getting through this pack all night. So nice adjustments being made by Grand Rapids as they try and get back in this game. Nice move on the outside by Extreme Tack. Coming up against Nasher the Smasher once again, though. And Bambi finally able to shake off a few of those blockers, but nice resetting. Bruisberry Pie trying to provide some offense.
Not a whole lot of movement in jammer progression here.
No need. Both packs just working extraordinarily well. Finally, Bambi, it looks like, is going to push the blockers out of play, and as you can see in the foreground, she is through. 10 minutes to go in the first period. Bambi looking winded after a grueling 55 seconds.
Extreme Tack being stuck behind with Bruisberry Pie. Oh.
There's a no pass, no penalty, I believe.
Yep. Just looking for that call.
Full 2-minute jam without a lead. Let's take a look at some of that punishing pack work.
There's Bambi trying to make her way through. She tries to take it on the inside. Number 33 drags her back. 83 does the help.
Ooh, nice work, Trashy Tulips. The vet knocking her out, and Ringo Death Star dragging her back. And look at that, just recycling constantly.
Bambi does have to enter behind, and that's where she got that track cut. Meanwhile, Motorhead Molly jamming for CN Power, skips and jumps through the inside line, and it looks like Grand Rapids does the same. Looks like Motorhead Molly's got a half a track ahead of her. She's going to try to scoop up some points before that jammer comes through. She has to call it off, and it looks like only 1 point scored for CN Power, but every little bit counts, just chipping away at that lead.
There you're taking a look at the Grand Rapids bench very briefly. Back on the track, 4-3 pack advantage for Grand Rapids. Ballerina out there to jam against Lucy Morals for Grand Rapids. Pantyhoser, Bruisberry Pie, and Rennie Rumble on the track for your skaters in pink. Your hometown Toronto Roller Derby up by 62 points right now. Lucy Morals, a nice move to get around and to the front, and now trying to push that 3-wall of CN Power blockers while Ballerina is facing a imposing 4-wall at the back. Bat Mangler doing a nice job. And while all that's happening, Lucy Morals, number 77, is through, and she is your lead jammer.
Pantyhoser cycled back. She's getting hit to the front, and Grand Rapids has to let her go. We've got one in the box for them.
Bala is through, which means Lucy Morals will have to call it off after picking up 4 points. Grand
CN Power
Rapids
are quick to recycle back to that line. They want to start this jam right away, keep that momentum going, and keep their lead ahead.
Nasher the Smasher is standing. She's got less than 10 seconds left. Costa, a lot of chaos is in the box for Grand Rapids. 3-3 pack to start this jam. Extreme Tack now has joined the Grand Rapids rotation. She's out there against number 2, Dusty, in the pink. There are your 2 jammers. Both jammers go to the outside. Dusty now switches in. Jubilee, Nasher the Smasher, Dinah Hercha, and Santa Muerta with some phenomenal defense at the back of the pack, allowing Dusty to get through. She's your lead jammer for CN Power.
Garden Hoe and Freakin' C were right there at the front trying to hold her back. Did shave a few seconds off of her momentum, but not on the second pass around. Dusty hits it and quits it.
Dusty with a nice little juke there to get those points and ensure a pickup of 4. Let's take a look and watch Dusty on a replay in that jam. Nice movement, outside in, and then just splitting those blockers. Finally able to use her speed to beat them on the outside, take lead jammer for CN Power. There's actually a fairly big crowd here for Grand Rapids, considering how far they've come. There's a nice little section of fans cheering them on. And Motorhead Molly jamming for CN Power. She was dragged back, able to get back on the track, and it's Lindsay Ultra Fox jamming for CN Power. She's having a hard time as well. Finally getting through, and lead jammer is Motorhead Molly.
Ultra Fox shaking that one off. I think she had CN Power hit one of her own players into her, so got a little knock to the chin. CN Power picking up more points. They now sit with 90 points against Grand Rapids 24, and just over 5 minutes left in this half.
You know, Ultra Fox had an amazing playoffs. Considering the massive losses that Grand Rapids faced, she still managed to register a 61% lead percentage and score 114 points.
Amazing.
So she is key, obviously, to this Grand Rapids offense.
Certainly why you're seeing her out on the track quite often. They're going to try to use her as much as possible to make up this lead. But Ballerina just tiptoeing on that outside line. Grand Rapids trying to stop her. Completely unsuccessful. She'd already built her momentum, and she is lead jammer before Lucy can even move from the back of the pack.
Santa Muerta continues the nice defense tonight, and Jubilee also with a nice offense, helping her jammers get through. She was key on that start for Bala. And Bala now coming around with scoring pass, decides to call it off. Will pick up at least 3. 3 points on the board for CN Power. Under 5 to go, 93-24.
Take another look at Bala coming around Santa Muerta, sneaking around. She gets hit by Garden Hoe, gives herself a little bit of momentum, and just squeaks on by and around.
Oh, nice little head fake. Couldn't quite get that last point, but a big pickup nonetheless. CN Power is leading by quite a bit. 4 minutes to go.
Dusty looking for a little bit of an assist from Bruceberry Pie on that outside, and she gets it. But it looks like Grand Rapids saw the score, gave her a little bit of resistance and enough to slow her down, but not enough to avoid lead jammer status for Dusty.
Dust Bunny now is coming up on her scoring pass.
Being aggressive herself, taking those points for her own team. Meanwhile, Extreme Tech is finally out of the pack.
And Dusty calls it off. Dusty's so experienced, so solid, very good at staying away from those dangerous areas. Growing into somewhat of a conservative jammer as the level of play steps up that the CN Power faces. And she's become very reliable. Stays out of the penalty box. Chips away at those points. Speaking of points, the 2 leading scorers for the 2 teams out there on the track now, Bambi and Ultra Fox. There they are, 33 in pink and number 17 in black. 4-3 pack advantage for CN Power as Bambi able to get once again to the front. And she is trying to push that wall. Santa Muerta again continuing this phenomenal defense. Joined by Dinah Hirsch at the back of that pack. Lead jammer now goes to Bambi once again. CN Power in last year's showdown, almost a year to the day against Grand Rapids, never led in the game. And
yeah,
now,
it was definitely a very different game.
Now 72 points. And a very similar lineup. Just goes to show you how far this Toronto team has come in a very short period of time. Bambi with one to beat, can't quite get past Freakin' C. It's a nice defense, but she calls it off. She'd already picked up Freakin' C's point. So it was all for naught. Bambi 4 more points on the board. They've reached the century mark. 100-24. Motorhead Molly back on the line for CN Power in pink. 1:30 left. We're in that 2-minute danger zone. This could be the last jam of the half. And Lucy Morals in black for Grand Rapids. Bruisers Pie once again tries to open up the outside. It didn't stay open for long, so starting again at the back of the pack is Motorhead Molly, but quickly makes her way to the inside, trying to push those two blockers out of the way, but sneaking through on the inside. Lucy Morals picks up the lead jammer for Grand Raggidy.
Garden Hoe making it really difficult for Motorhead Molly here. Bruisers Pie also trying to make a hole for her.
She does get through. Motorhead Molly quickly coming up on the pack, forcing the call off. I think it's going to be 3 points for Grand Rapids. 3 and a steal of 1. Nice job by Motorhead Molly with a burst of speed at the end to just pass that Grand Raggidy blocker and pick up the point.
That tall drink of water in pink is Rebel Rocket. She's just come off of a concussion injury, so it's exciting to see her back on the track playing for the pink.
Another longtime veteran, missed the playoffs this year.
This'll do. Nice way to start 2014.
That's right. Ballerina now working her way through that pack as at the back, Extreme Tack having a hard time. Dinah Hercher, the pivot, going one-on-one. Masher there for support.
CN Power just holding this four wall and letting Ballard fight for her own.
Seems to be the way CN Power is going tonight, and why not if they can do it? Their jammers are getting through. The tight defense is holding the opposing jammer in. Oh, Rebel Rocket takes a big hit.
Oh, Ballerina spins and turns, falls on her knees, gets back up, and she keeps going like nothing ever happened.
We've got a star pass in the pack. Shotgun Shell number 44 was wearing the pivot as the backup jammer. She took the star, burst through the pack. Nice strategic move from Grand Raggidy to at least limit the damage. Ballard's going to try to pick up 4 more before she calls it off, though. Evades 1 hit. And blows by number 25, Freakin' C, for the final point. All 4 for CN Power on that pass. And that's going to take us up to halftime. Just waiting for the official call, and there it is. Unbelievable opening half for CN Power.
More points on the board. CN Power finishes this half with 110 points against Grand Rapid with 28.
And I think the story of that half so far was just powerful defense from CN Power and their jammers being left alone, but winning those battles, 1-on-3 battles, consistently at the front of the pack. Really great work.
Absolutely, and both sets of jammers staying really clean, and when they do get those penalties, they get them together. So there isn't a whole lot of time where the jammers are actually sitting in the penalty box. So it makes for some exciting derby.
It does, and more exciting derby coming up in the second half of this Toronto Roller Derby showdown between the Grand Raggidy Roller Girls and your own CN Power. All right, thanks, Brandon.
Very different game.
Yeah. Rapids and Toronto's CN Power. Let's take a look at a highlight package from that first half.
Got Bala here jamming, and Bruisers just making a nice outside wall for her.
And you see that's a theme for that first half. Bruisey opening in that outside, and the Jammer's able to take it. Nice work from number 31, Bruceberry Pie in the pack. And then Bambi just relentless and unable to be taken down. Now this was probably the nicest hit of the half.
There it is, Nash the Smasher.
Unbelievable work. And a key for CN Power this half has been heavy D and allowing the Jammers to just go one against a wall. And as you can see, Bambi here juking and jiving and just really pulling them apart until eventually a hole opens up and then she takes it. Unbelievable work.
Once again, Dusty doing very similar thing, just ping-ponging between these walls. They're hitting her hard, but she's just bouncing off of them and taking any chance she can.
Pantyhose with great effort against Ultra Fox, an unbelievable jammer for Grand Rapids. And they're, once again, just being able to split those walls. And it's the constant moving of those feet. Just waiting for holes to open. Unbelievable work from Bambi, this team's leading scorer, keeping it up again in that first half. And CN Power has pulled ahead by quite a bit. 110-27 is the lead at halftime. Unbelievable against a team that they've played twice in the past 18 months and lost to both times. So this is a big, big confidence boost for CN Power. Now, speaking of success, 3 blockers out on the line to start the second half for CN Power have been a big key to this late season success for Toronto Roller Derby's All-Stars. Jubilee there in the pink on the left, to your left as you're watching, and Dinah Hercha in the center with the stripe as your pivot, and then Nash the Smasher, number 2x4. The unbelievable core of this Toronto Roller Derby defense. And Ballerina looks like he's going to get the first jam of the star for CN Power in the second half, and she is out there against Ultra Fox, who has been, as expected, the top jammer for the Grand Raggidy All-Stars. And we are underway, second half of this Toronto Roller Derby season closer.
Ballerina breaking away from Grand Rapids very early on, giving her own blocker some room to keep that jammer held up. And Ultra Fox is a good half track behind her. CN Power dragging the back to Ballerina, and she has to call it off before Ultra Fox hits the pack to score points.
She will pick up 2 points on that pass. 1 point for the blocker she passed, and then 1 for the blocker in the penalty box. And that's Gardenho in the penalty box to start this second half. A key player for the Grand Raggidy All-Stars. But Santa Muerte, who's having, perhaps, we were just talking about it, perhaps the game of the season. She's playing really well. She's also in the penalty box right now, but she is standing.
Which means she only has 10 seconds or less to go before she's released.
3 packs as the Jammers engage. It's Dusty at the back, number 2 in pink, against Lucy Morals, number 77 in the black.
It's like Dusty's doing a lot of blocking work herself, letting Rennie Rumble and Bruceberry Pie do some blocking at the front.
Both incredible positional players, as we are seeing. Rennie Rumble plays with a certain intensity as well. That's hard to match, and Bruceberry Pie with a big hit. Oh, and finally, after a full lap and a quarter, Dusty is through as your lead jammer. And Lucy Morals gets by the last line of defense. And she is through, but Dusty coming up to score.
And her pack making it easy for her, breaking those people away. She does pick up 4.
2 points, though, going to the Grand Raggidy jammer. Let's take a look at the Bruceberry Pie hit. Oh, nice hit on Lucy Morals, sending her down to the track.
And Rennie doing a great job of just holding her in position so she has nowhere to go but down.
Hammer and nail, they call that. Hold it and then hammer it. Nice work from CN Power. Seeing those same 3 blockers, Jubilee, Dinah Hercha, and Nash the Smasher on the track. Bambi once again out there, matched up against Ultra Fox. They're going the best jammer against the best jammer tonight.
Oh, and Dinah Hercha doing a great job of just feeding Bambi on that outside line, making it real easy for her to get through and get lead. Ultra Fox just barely squeaking past Dinah. And this pack's resetting, looking for some jammers to stop or allow through. Bambi has to call it off. Successfully held back by Ringo Death Star from Grand Raggidy.
No points for either team on that pass, but the time is easily on the side of CN Power right now. 116-29 is the lead. Just to put things in perspective, when they played against almost a year ago to the day last year, Grand Rapids beat CN Power 167 to 80. So a massive turnaround in just 12 months' time. 3-3 packs on the track. Motorhead Molly out there to jam against Lucy Morals. Lucy Morals has a front wall of CN Power blockers to break through.
Molly's still having a hard time at the back, though. She hasn't really moved a muscle.
And Candy Crossbones went back to provide some offense. Now flips to the defense, and Motorhead Molly is through as your lead jammer. Nice offense-defense transition right there from CN Power. Really controlling things in the pack.
She easily squeaks out another 5 points. Natural grand slam.
Oh, a nice hit right there from Lindsay Blowhand, forcing Motorhead Molly all the way back to the back of the pack. The Grand Rapids pivot with a nice hit, but Motorhead Molly shrugs it off, able to break her way through. It was a very spread out pack, and she picks up 4 points. Sorry, she did get all 5.
All 5.
Grand Rapids jammer did get through, but not quick enough. And Motorhead Molly calls it off. Nearing a 100-point lead as we come up to the 5-minute mark of this second half. Let's take another look. That scoring pass.
She gets a little help from Santa Muerta, but not enough to stay in bounds. She gets called all the way back.
Nice job from Lindsay Blowhand, the pivot.
But then all it took, CN Power just split up that pack just enough, so it just really didn't set her back much at all.
Yeah, and CN Power has been dominating in the packs tonight. That's been the story of this game so far. And Ballerina just seeing an outside line. She's through. Another lead jammer for CN Power.
Ultrafox trying to take the middle, doesn't want to risk going inside outside.
CN Power. Oh, Nasher took a big fall. She looks like she's all right, though. Back up on her feet. And Ballerina coming around to score. She takes a big hit, gets pushed to the outside in turn number 2, but quickly back in. Re-engaging with the pack. Nice front of the pack defense from Nasher the Smasher and Dinah Hercha.
Oh, not quite hitting her out. But just enough time to reset and help Ballerina get past quite a few. She's got 2 to beat now.
And there's Dinah. Simple little offensive block.
Rebel doing the same thing. Giving her just a little bit of space, trying to peel one off. And she does have to call it.
To their credit, nice job by the Grand Raggidy All-Stars to stay in front of that pack. Keep the pace up, force the call off. 3 points, I believe, is all that was picked up. It's a nice job by Grand Rapids late on that jam. Dusty now out there to jam against Extreme Tack. There is number 2, your co-captain of Toronto CN Power.
Oh, both jammers just barreling through. Both stuck behind 4 walls. Oh, an Extreme Tack almost takes out a ref. And do I see a call there? Nope, that was a warning. She is lead jammer. That's Extreme Tack for Grand Rapids. Dusty just barely making it around Bette Mangler.
She is through, though. Extreme Cat coming up onto a very, very fast pack. Nice defense, pace defense from CN Power, just keeping this pack moving and forcing the call off. 2 points, though, given up, but nice defense just to stay in front of that jammer and keep the points safe. And
nice strong strategy when you've got a strong pack there that can just keep up that pace. Let's take another look.
Did we get a referee taken out here?
Yeah.
And it looks like a jammer ref.
Nice toe stop control by the ref there.
These refs are also all on quads. We should point out they also need to train with their skates, and nice work by the ref to stay on her feet. Lucy Morals now pushing a wall at the front. CN Power separated from their Grand Rapids counterparts. Bambi at the back of the pack, just again patience, waiting for an opening on the inside, breaks through. A lead jammer, CN Power. 98 points is the lead.
This pack is sped up. Probably still trying to keep that pace from the previous pack, but it's not enough to slow down Bambi. She likes it fast.
Yeah, Bambi doesn't mind if those blockers are all spread out and engaged. More holes for her to find and to sneak through on. CN Power trying to redefine the pack at the back to allow Bambi to push those blockers out of play and get through. Doesn't need it, breaks the wall instead, picks up the points, calls it off. 4 points. Good patience from the CN Power jammer on that one. Just held the inside line until it opened up. And she popped through. Here she is on her scoring pass now, coming up to that 2-wall. Just fearless with those hits.
Yeah, she's taken some hard ones, but just that one miss. Again, taking it to the hips and charging ahead.
Good footwork and control. Able to evade those big hits. A little bit of a different matchup now. Loose Ultra Fox out there against number 204, Motorhead Molly, and Ultra Fox gets the jump early on, but Molly also breaks through. She's got just a jammer to beat. She's through. Motorhead Molly is your lead jammer. Nice work from Nasher and Bruisberry Pie.
Yep.
As the last line of Toronto defense.
Yeah, but it looks like they're spreading this pack out as much as possible, trying to keep it legal.
That's right.
While they still hold her back.
Pantyhose are doing a nice job of bridging the pack to keep everyone in play.
And that spanned half a track there before Nasher had to let her go. And now she rejoins the pack to help get Molly a few more points.
3 points picked up for Motorhead Molly on that one. Nice pickup for number 204. Number 905 out there now in the pink for CN Power. That's Ballerina out there against Extreme Tack. We're seeing a lot of Extreme Tack tonight.
Yeah, she joined in the jammer rotation a little bit late in the game, but I think Grand Rapids is happy with her performance so far, and she's going to keep her in that rotation. My guess is they were looking at the first couple jams, seeing what kind of team CN Power has become, and gauging who they need to put out there to take in those heavy hits. And that's Ballerina leaping out ahead. Meanwhile, Extreme Tack is taking on those heavy hits from CN Power. And she's trying to be a little defensive there.
Yeah.
She finally breaks through. But Ballerina is at the back of the pack, making her point-scoring pass. Good defense by Grand Rapids. That's Bette Mangler.
Forced to call it off. Now, Grand Rapids is without Mona Vaded, who is generally their 4th jammer, which is maybe another reason why Extreme Tack is getting a lot of the time. But Ballerina, nice job just on the, again, sticking to the outside, which is usually a danger area, but CN Power seems to be able to use that outside lane tonight to their advantage. The lead has now extended to over 100 points, 107 points is the lead. 20 minutes to go in the second period.
Dusty the first off. This pack is spread out wide. Looks like we've got almost 2 packs of 2-on-2.
Lucy Morals almost had an inside, but Bruisberry Pie closed that door quickly. And that allowed Dusty to get through as your lead jammer. Dusty coming around on turn number 3 on her scoring pass. Gets knocked to the outside. Candy Crossbones comes in with a big offensive hit on Garden Ho. But Garden Ho again able to recycle.
Dusty showing a bit of patience on that inside line. She knows she can get through. She just waits it out. Nasher throwing a hip out, really hoping to make it work, but
that jam comes to its conclusion. 4 more points on the board for CN Power. Starting to run away with it here as we near the midway point of this second period. Commanding lead in what would be a massive statement game to end the season for CN Power.
Or start their season for 2014.
That's right. Yep.
Start it with a bang, take a nice holiday, and
come back in January, revamped and ready to go it again.
And a good, solid position for holding that position that they really earned in those playoffs.
Yeah, they had to earn a playoff spot this year, but next year the playoff spot is theirs to lose. And I have a feeling that we're going to see this CN Power team just continue to get better.
Rennie Rumble doing a great job. Santa Muerta finishing her off, but Bette Mangler finishing her off. Nice derby play here.
Oh, and Jubilee, the last line of defense, number 27, destroys the Grand Rapids jammer and brings her all the way back to the pack. Goes for another big hit again. Oh, and finally, Rennie Rummel getting knocked off by Extreme Tack, who is back in the pack. Allowing Shotgun Shell through, but Bambi close on her tail. This is Shotgun Shell's jam to call. Seems content, going to try and pick up a few points, but Bambi might have snuck in. It looks like she did steal one and gets the point for the penalty box. Let's take a look at that Santa Muerta hit again.
There's Rennie Rumble setting it up, and Santa Muerta taking her out. Nice turnaround. Oh, and then Bet Mangler finishing her off.
That's sometimes the sacrifice you make for making those big hits. You're often unstable or not sure where everyone else is on the track after that.
For sure.
And Mangler was right there and ready. Only 2 blockers on the track now for CN Power. Dinah Hercha and, Bruceberry Pie and Nasha the Smacker. Bruisey. Nice hit to the inside. Again, taking out the jammer.
And those are the blockers you want out there. Motorhead Molly taking lead jammer. And that is another awesome hit by Nasher. Holding back, wasting time, making sure that Motorhead Molly has the advantage here. She gets stuck behind Bet Mangler. No, sorry, that's Garden Hoe.
Garden Hoe.
Took her out.
Garden Hoe continuing to have a strong game for this Grand Rapids team.
Between her and Bet Mangler up at the front, they are the strongest last line of defense for Grand Rapids.
I think there's obviously a little bit of a rebuild perhaps going on at the Grand Raggidy Roller Girls as they try to refocus.
Yeah, it looks like they're shuffling their bench a little bit. Timeout called.
Perhaps an official review. Lil Haha up there talking to head ref, Bonesy Adams. And they're taking a look at the CN Power Pack, Ballerina, the Jammer with the Star, Jubilee, and others. And there is the CN Power cheering section. One of many. As I said, there's a lot of pink here in the bunker tonight. CN Power hasn't played at home in quite a while.
They have been on the road for the better part of the
has it really been since March?
Summer.
It's the Quad City Chaos.
Maybe.
Grand Rapids is going to continue on the road. They've actually got another game next weekend before their season is over. They'll be playing Old Capital City on October 26th. And I believe they may also be having a game against Iowa City coming up as well. So Grand Rapids still has some time left in this season. And you can see the spirit of our Grand Rapids visitors. They may be down on the scoreboard, but on the track, they've got the emotional energy. Trashy Tulips, number 33, a veteran out there, keeping her team focused and in this game. And this official review, the refs seem to have things all sorted out. Explanations have been given. We're back to playing roller derby. Let's listen for the announcement from Bonesy Adams.
Call stands with a no call.
Thank you, Bonesy.
Couldn't quite make that out, but what I did make out was that the call will stand. Nothing will change. Yeah. So the review was denied. Whatever it was.
Whatever that was.
Denied. Let's pretend it didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
Lucy Morrill's number 77 in the blackout there against Ballerina. We have a rare pivot line start on this jam. All the blockers up at the front of the start zone. And Lucy Morrill's cuts to the inside, being held back. Ballerina being dragged all the way to the back now. Very smartly re-enters. Lead jammer, though, goes to Grand Rapids. This is their first lead jam in quite a while. It's a big pickup for Lucy Morrill's here as Grand Rapids tries to get back in this game. A nice hit by Donna Hersa to force her to the outside. Lucy Morrill's picks up 2 points. 3, sorry, the adjustment from the ref.
Yep, she had to count that one in the box.
And there you see only three blockers on the track for CN Power. 4-3 pack advantage for Grand Rapids. Garden Hoe out there caused a lot of chaos. And the captain, Lindsay Blohan, so Experienced line out there for Grand Rapids.
Extreme Tack jamming for Grand Rapids against Dusty for CN Power in the pink. Both of them really pushing and struggling through some walls. Neither wall really wants to budge.
Nice back wall from Grand Rapids. Something they haven't been able to do consistently tonight. They're holding it on this jam.
Yep, both walls seem to be merging here, which can prove to be the thing that gets a jammer out. Bruceberry, one last hit. Nasher, once again, the last line of defense.
And an Extreme Tack tried to make a nice move around the inside. She perhaps should have just been a little more patient, waited for Nasher to go to play. Instead, Nasher gave her a little hip pop, forced her back. And that ends the jam.
0 points.
Nice defense once again from CN Power. 112 points is the lead, 13:20 remaining. Only 7 points on the board so far for Grand Raggidy here in the second half. 27 for CN Power.
Speaking of points, two jammers that can score them is Ultra Fox and Bambi. Both of them stuck at the back of these walls. Bambi just getting a few steps ahead, and then Ultra Fox seems to be recycling back up.
Ultra Fox now facing a 4-wall at the front, but again, she's staying in that safe area, really sticking to the center of the pack. Trashy Tulips, the veteran, is having a strong game, coming up to play some offense. Ultra Fox now with 2 to beat, trying to push them out of play. No pack called. Oh, but
Nasher hits her out just at the last second. She is called all the way back to the back. So is Bambi.
Ringo Death Star, the Grand Rapids pivot, also recycling Bambi, so both jammers forced to the back of the pack. Once again, Ultra Fox breaking through to the front. Gets by Rennie Rumble on the inside.
Nasher has to let her go, and Ultra Fox is ultimately lead jammer.
Unbelievable defense from both packs.
Over a minute gone in this jam, and we just got a lead jammer. Once again, this pack is spread out. Ultra Fox pushing through. She passes Nasher and calls it off.
Bambi was hoping for a steal there. She did steal 2. Nice job. Let's take a look now at some of that just extraordinary pack work.
Nice push. 3 strong blockers holding Ultra Fox. And there's that tap that Nasher needed to push Ultra Fox all the way back around.
So strong is that last line of defense as Nasher the smasher. Garden Hall, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of number 88 in the black for the rest of this game. Nice block. Oh, and it looks like a nice job from, was that Lucy Morals in the pack this time, drawing the cut. Oh, both jammers heading to the penalty box. Just when it looked like Grand Rapids was going to have an opportunity for a power jam, they also pick up a penalty. So these jammer penalties, as you're seeing a dead pack, they will be concurrent. And they will both be sent back on to the track. Seems to be taking a long time, but these are the first penalties for both jammers, so they should be released quickly.
Yep.
Some confusion definitely in the penalty box. Lucy Morals let out first.
Which means that CN Power is going to feed this pack backwards. And cleverly, Motorhead Molly decides to enter from the back while no one's looking.
Beautifully orchestrated by CN Power, but it's Lucy Morals who's going to power her way through.
Nice hit out by Grand Rapids. She feeds her all the way back.
No scoring on that pass for Lucy Morals. I thought that was your second pass. Or I thought she'd gone into the penalty box on the scoring pass.
I think we're both on initial, which means that there would not be a powered or a lead jammer in this jam.
40 seconds remaining on the jam clock, and it's going to go the full 2 minutes. And Lucy Morals now picking up points. Motorhead Molly coming around to try and score herself. Pulls up slowly, starts hitting that pack, and look at her just dancing along the inside line. Couldn't quite find a hole. Lucy Morals powering through the center, finally gets taken down by Bruisberry Pie. Bruisberry Pie right back up and again with some strong defense, pushing the jammer to the outside.
All the way back. She has to come in behind her. Motorhead Molly running into some trouble as well.
Oh, and Molly, I believe. No, she's going to get through. Picked up 4 points. The Grand Rapids back was hoping for another cut there, but she made it through cleanly.
No dice.
So both teams just basically trading points on that jam. It was kind of a wash. Significant lead remains for CN Power. 4-3 pack advantage. Extreme tack back out on the line against Ballerina. Ballerina again getting through to the front first. Oh, and a nice job to stay on her feet, stay in bounds. She's your lead jammer for CN Power.
Pack's barely moved until now. Been holding extreme tack this whole time, and Ballerina picks up 5 points on that outside line. Grand Rapids seems to be giving up that extra foot of space that Ballerina is just stealing away. She does it again. You really have to cover all your bases there.
Big hit. Now there was a pass. Lindsay Blohan, the captain, was the pivot. She has taken the star. Just took a big hit, but on the second straightaway, she is near the front of the pack, being held nicely by a four-wall of CN Power skaters. Ballerina comes around, blows by Bette Mangler on the inside. Another grand slam for CN Power. 8 minutes to go there, pulling ahead. A big hit from Dinah Hercha. Dinah and Rennie so strong together, doing a great job holding back the Grand Rapids jammer.
Keeping that pack really slow. The pack does end up meeting up with Dinah. Good, strong defense by both teams.
Ballerina now coming through, and again, the clock is on CN Power's side right now, so they don't mind these long jams. With a substantial lead, they'll let it go. We've come up to the 7-minute mark. CN Power in clear control right now. Let's take a look at some nice blocking. Just unbelievable jam. Both teams really doing well, but this front of the pack defense from Dinah Hercha and Rennie Rumble and Lindsay Blohan.
Rennie doing a great job of just holding Dinah steady, keeping her strong and on her skates, despite being pushed from behind.
Of course, Lindsay Blohan on that jam cold. She was a pivot, accepted the pass, and she hasn't been jamming tonight, so that's a tough, tough task. Dusty now being held to the back of the pack. Bruceberry Pie has gone back to try and provide some offense. Pushes Garden Ho off of Dusty briefly, but Ho right back on her. Trashy Tulips coming up now to work some offense for Alta Fox, who's got one to beat in Candy Crossbones. Number 2020 holds her in for as long as she can. Lead jammer goes to Ultra Fox and the Grand Raggidy All-Stars, but right on her tail, about 10 feet back, is the captain.
Doesn't even see her coming.
I think she did. Maybe looking for her bench for some advice.
Her bench saw it happening.
And they told her to call that off. 5:46 remaining. 173 to 47 is your score. 4-3 pack advantage. 4-2 pack advantage, excuse me, for CN Power. Shotgun Shell is going to wear the stripe just in case they need it. Extreme Tack getting a lot of action with the star tonight. Bambi out there, number 33 in the pink, running into Bette Mangler at the back of the pack. No surprise there. Mangler, another one of these strong Grand Raggidy blockers. Santa Muerta with some nice defense once again, and Dragon, extreme tack all the way back. Bambi's through as your lead jammer. Oh, excuse me, Bambi's being called off on a late call, a cut. She didn't hear it, went through on that scoring pass. She's almost lucky she didn't get an extra point there for refusing to leave the track. Dinah Hercha with a big hit. She did fall to her knees though, so
Nasher and Bambi discussing, did I cut? Really? Did I cut? Yeah, you did.
Extreme tack.
Okay.
Already around on her scoring pass. Santa Muerta with a big hit on the outside.
Yeah, these hits seem to be knocking her off of her feet a little bit. She's staying upright, but you can definitely see that those hits to the thighs are really making it hard to keep her legs moving.
Street attack with 1 to beat. Santa Muerta, Dinah Hercha recycling to the front of the pack to offer some support. Santa works her to the outside. Nice job by the CN Power skaters. Looks like Santa might have stepped out there, but the jammer didn't notice. So Santa went right along with it, dragged her all the way back.
Well, and Dinah was ahead as well. So because Dinah was still in play, she fed her back as well. So she had to come in behind the entire pack. Good, strong strategy by CN Power. Bambi has been released from the box. That was a fast minute.
That was nice penalty killing from CN Power, limiting that damage. Bambi now very quickly around on a scoring pass. And it looks like we've traded power jams, and now it's CN Power on a power jam, but with only 5 seconds left in this half, they're not going to be able to do, or in this jam, excuse me, they're not going to be able to do much damage, but they'll get to reset on a power start with 3 on the track. Let's take a look if we see that Bambi cut. She's coming through on the inside. Tries to take a little bit of a leap.
That one was clean, but
yeah,
I think it was maybe
that was where the ref called the cut. Didn't see it on that replay. The ref was somewhat out of position, or maybe she had a line on that we didn't see on that replay. Bambi nonetheless heading to the penalty box.
It's also entirely possible that she had cut earlier in another pass and we just didn't see it.
It looks like another official review is being called here, perhaps by Grand Rapids. Maybe trying to get extreme tack out of the penalty box. There she is, number 35.
Yeah. I also believe CN Power thought that they earned 5 points in that pass because the jammer was in the penalty box. So maybe they're just looking for that extra point. We should know in a moment.
Once again, as we mentioned, this is the final game of the season for Toronto CN Power. It has been a heck of a season. Grand Rapids has a few more games to get in, so they still have an opportunity to make an impact before 2013 ends. Try and climb their way back up. They've got some work to cut out for them now to get back into Division 1. But they're a team with a lot of experience, and that's been around for a long, long time. There's the ref, visiting ref, Null Pointer from Montreal in there. Bonesy now explaining the decision, as you can see, to the captains. His Unholiness, the Reverend Ramirez on the left, the bench coach for CN Power, and a little Haha on the right in the blue, the bench coach for Grand Rapids. They both seem pretty content with that explanation, and Bonesy Adams is now going to give us the call. Let's see what he's got to say.
Official review was called. Argument that the pink jammer should have received an insubordination call. The no call stands.
Call stands. So they were looking into the jammer penalty. Grand Rapids was trying to say that the jammer did not incur a penalty, but the call does stand. So CN Power on the power start. A lot of costumes tonight.
Yes.
A lot of people dressed up in whatever pink garb they could find. I believe that person in that mask was Belfast.
Yes.
Skater.
I do believe so. It is the season for costumes. Oh, nice little leap by Motorhead Molly. She does get lead jammer.
Yeah, nice job to just kind of wedge your hips in there and avoid a back block call. Oh, Bruceberry Pie with a big outside sweep. Nice job, though, by the veteran Trashy Tulips to avoid it and then lock in with some nice positional blocking. She could only hold her for so long, though, before finding herself out of play. Motorhead Molly picks up the grand slam.
She jukes out, she jukes in. She's stuck behind this wall, but it looks like CN Power is trying to hold back Gardenhoe as much as possible. She does get a cut, so now we don't have a pack for CN Power.
That's right. And what CN Power was trying to do there was redefine the pack at the back to allow Motorhead Molly to break through those jammers. They were blockers. They were unable to do it, and the jammer for Grand Rapids is back on the track.
Oh, huge hit.
Massive collision between Pantyhose and Extreme Tack.
Bruceberry Pie looks like a backward block. She is in the penalty box, and she was in opposite direction. Threw a nasty hit on the chest.
Big hit from Gardneau at the end of that jam as Motorhead Molly was calling it off.
Looks like we're going to see that hit. Yep. There's Pantyhoser sweeping ahead. She's looking for help from Bruisey. Wants to stay on her feet, knocks her in, and there's Bruisey just knocking her backwards.
Nice.
Wrong direction. She is sitting in the penalty box for that. But it's definitely a crowd pleaser to see those big hits.
It is. An Extreme Tack called that penalty from the ground. And there's the penalty box. 2 in for CN Power, 1 for Grand Rapids. Slight pack advantage for the skaters in black. Lucy Morales fights her way through on the inside. Just gets by Jubilee. She did not just get by Jubilee. A track cut called. Lead jammer goes to Ballerina and CN Power power jam with less than 2 minutes to go. Balla keeping things calm and cool.
She's telling her pack, just calm down. I'll get through, and there she does.
3-2 pack advantage on this penalty kill for Grand Rapids. Unable to use it on that first pass. Ballerina quickly coming around again. Dinah Hirsch coming in for a sweep on the outside. Balla takes it. Runs into Bette Mangler.
All they need is one to define pack, and they did it. Ballerina comes around, 5 more points.
Freaking see the other blocker out there for Grand Rapids. Nothing tougher than having a 2-blocker pack on a power kill. Penalty box is emptying now, though, and they do have all 4. Ballerina's just going to step up with a minute left, calls it off. No time left on the game clock. Game over. We will wait for the official final score to be called, but one thing is for certain, and that is that Toronto's CN Power has avenged 2 losses to the Grand Raggidy Roller Girls All-Stars and have come back to take a massive victory.
And despite being in skates, they are lifting Reverend Joel Ramirez. This is his last bout as bench manager. He has managed this team from the beginning, from 2008 and beyond, and he is now hanging up his jacket?
And there they are, taking their victory lap. Toronto's CN Power. A massive victory, 200-54 to close out the 2013 year. What a year it's been.
Excellent year and excellent bout to come home to after so many successful wins in Salem, Oregon, in the division finals.
And that is the official final. So your official final score is 200-54. Seeing it on your screen. We're going to go to a break right now, but we will be back with a lot of post-game interviews. We'll tell you who the MVPs are for this game. Once again, Monochrome has been here. I'm the Derby Nerd calling this Toronto Roller Derby Showdown. CN Power wins it 200-54. We'll be back right after this.
Okay. 2 to 3 questions apiece. Okay, cool.